Hello and welcome to episode 100 of In PS We Trust, a PlayStation podcast. My name's Davey and joined with me, as always, is the fine wine himself, Mr. Philip Hoy.
Evening, brothers.
He's back.
He's back, baby.
Do you get that reference, Spence?
It's wrestling, right?
No. Have you not seen what I've been playing in the dock?
Well, I haven't played it myself, so how am I to know?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. We'll come to that in due course. That reference will pay off, I'm sure, down the road. And of course, the boy wonder himself, Mr. Spencer Davis. How the devil are you, my friend?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good. I'm glad we're doing the big 100.
Yeah, it's a shame, really, though, audience, because it's not actually a big special episode for us. This, and the reason is kind of just real life. There's just stuff going on. We can't get together and get trashed. And so because of that, much like our Big Quiz 9, which for Celebrate episode 90, was actually took place on 93, I think the same thing's going to happen here. So our 100 episode celebration probably going to take place anywhere between episode 101 to 105. Somewhere around there. But the only thing, I'm not gonna be pinned down. Not gonna be pinned down at this stage. But the only thing to know is that the longer it goes on, the higher the shot count. And at the moment, myself and Phil, we're looking pretty damn good. Going into this, Phil, guess how many shots you would have had if we did the quiz today?
I'm going to go somewhere in the middle, 5-ish.
One.
5? One. Oh, I am doing well.
Yep, that's it.
That surprises me, to be fair.
So there's other things going on, like bets and stuff like that, where there's shots going up. But from actually like losing at quick news, 1 shot. No one's hit the button for like forever. So there's none of that. It's really, really low. And then myself and Spence, I think I had something like 5 or 6. Spence is up there with the same number, plus his carryover from the last big quiz. So Spence would have been fucked. It would have been between you and me, Phil, for the champ, definitely. But we got a long way to go, apparently, until we're celebrating our episode 100 milestone. So for the moment, listeners, stay tuned, because we're not going to be doing these 99.5s, 99.85s, 99.7.5.6. None of this bollocks. We're just running on past the 100 mark. And today, you are in for an absolutely spellbindingly, blood-suckingly, spookily good episode of In PS We Trust, a PlayStation podcast. Of course, we are on the run-up to Halloween. It is spooky season over here. None of us are dressed up in costumes, but we are going to be guiding you through an absolute horror show of PlayStation news today. And the run of the show is going to be as normal. So we're going to kick off with what we've been playing, move it on into the quick news, and then we're going to end today with a segment we haven't actually featured for a long time. Rumour Has It makes its return to end the show today. Lots of exciting stuff. But before we get there, guys, we always kick off with a hypothetical question. And today's hypothetical is... It could be a bit grim, but I think it'd be quite good, right? So I was thinking about this the other day. People have like erection problems, right? And they have like erection dysfunction.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nobody ever has it.
Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah. Very common in men.
Oh,
very common in men.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Trust me.
Right,
It's a thing.
okay.
Yeah. We've all been there at some point in our lives where it's just not working. Could be under the influence of different substances. It could be that you're with an absolute dog. Could be anything, right? Who knows? Who knows? It's a mystery, right? It's a mystery sometimes.
Wow.
But the question that came to my mind is, does anyone ever suffer the other side? So has anyone got a permanent erection that they can never get rid of, right? And so my question is, what's better, permanently floppy or permanently solid? Take it wherever you want to go. Spencer, come over to you first.
Of course. Why not come over to me first? Well, I think I'm in a situation where I tend to be... It depends on what you're doing, innit? It's contextual.
You wouldn't want to be around a school, would you? With a permanent rock on.
How are we already at this part of the conversation? How
5 minutes in.
5 minutes in and we're already talking about paedophiles.
Episode 100, baby. What do you expect?
Big 100.
Nothing's off the table.
The thing is that's quite beneficial, right? We all have different fashion senses. Typically, I wear baggy trousers. So even if I have a stiff on, you don't know. Trust me, it's happened. I think... Looking at you handsome boys. I think if I was permanently fucking rocking it, I think I'd be able to get away with it. All my jeans would be gone. I couldn't wear jeans anymore. I couldn't wear like any tight fitted trousers, but I never do anyway.
Shorts?
Baggy shorts, you might be okay. But I never wear shorts. I'd never wear shorts. So I think I would be able to get away with a constant rock on. And plus, the sex would be fucking phenomenal. Because it just straight to round 2, straight to round 3, to the point where it hurts. And you're like,
Yeah.
There's no liquid left in your body, no moisture, and you're just sucked dry. You'd be able to do that every time.
That's true. You would be like a pleasure machine, wouldn't you? On tap.
You would.
It'd be like you're rocking a permanent dildo, but it's your penis.
In fact, go straight into the porn industry.
Yeah, you might as well. At that point, you save a fortune in Viagra because they're all popping Viagra like no one's business. So you'd save a fortune on that. That's probably good for you. What about like going around day to day? If you do get a boner, like I remember when I was, like when you're in school and your testosterone's going
in
crazy.
Schools, mate. What's going on?
No. I'm thinking when my testosterone was going nuts, there was the worry that you just get a random hard on for no reason. Right. And it was just a thing.
Whenever you worry about it, it happens.
Yeah. And it was just like a random thing. You just all of a sudden you're hard and you're like, why? Like, why? I mean, gym class. There's no, like, this is weird.
I've got a story that relates to this. And it wasn't me, but I definitely witnessed this happen. Okay. So I remember we were in French class. My friend went up the front to, give us a bit of French language. And he got up and he was stood next to one of the prettiest girls in class. And they had to do a little bit of back and forth. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? And yes, he was straight up and hard and everyone was just looking at it. It was just there for the world to see.
No.
And he just carried on trying to talk French to said girl. She didn't notice. She thought everyone was kind of laughing and giggling at her. And she got super self-conscious. And of course, getting self-conscious, she started messing up her words and she couldn't get it out, of course. But Martin, and there we go, that was his name, he stood there with the rock on. And yeah, his French was pretty good as well.
Jesus Christ. Was he bullied after? Or was everyone just like, nobody mentioned it?
I think he was bullied before. So it just continued. So it was one of those things that just became part of the bully's arsenal.
Oh, no.
I'd think it'd go the opposite way. I'd think if he's bullied before, they'd think, fucking Martin's he's packing mine, didn't he? And you'd think,
it was huge.
I ain't dealing with that again. And he's got a constant rock on. You try hit him, he might end up touching you. I'd be like, nah, staying away from him.
He's got a baton down there. He's going to absolutely bludgeon someone to death with that thing. It's like a baby's arm.
I think it went more down the track. You know, when you're at that age where people, say you fancy a girl, people take the piss out of you a little bit for fancying someone.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I don't fancy her. But then in your head, you're like, obviously I do.
Yeah.
I think it was a bit of that was going on. So he obviously fancied her. She was the best looking girl in class. But he got up, obviously thinking about her, straight up.
Oh, man.
That's class.
But if you're the teacher, would you not like, Martin, maybe you want to sit down? Because she definitely noticed it. How could she have not?
I think it's more embarrassing to bring it up.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a position
well, she's not going to address it like one-to-one. Excuse me, sir, can you sit down? No, I'm talking to your cock. She's not going to do that, is she? Obviously. She might just say, Martin, can you just sit down and maybe we can continue this conversation?
I don't know. I'd probably just
you'd let it happen, would you?
I'd just let it run its course, I would, and just be like,
I think if I was in Martin's shoes, I'd be pissed because if she's getting self-conscious and messing up her words, I'd be like, fuck me, this is taking ages. And he stood up there with this rock on. He's nailing the French because he's just trying to make it end. And she's there fucking it. He's like, fuck's sake. Oh, she looks fit minded.
all that blood rushing from his brain wasn't affecting his French, was it? He was perfect, man. Top grades for that.
French is the language of love, isn't it?
Exactly.
I've got a story similar to this, but it's not similar. It's more to what you said, Davey, where it's when you think about it and then it happens.
Yeah.
And we were in Birmingham for a Smash tournament. We were playing.
Oh no!
We were just playing friendlies the morning before the event starts, and I just looked around. I thought, "Fuck, this would be the worst place to get a boner." Kept playing, and then I was like, "Oh, fuck,
no way!"
Yeah. And it lasted. I just kept playing games, thinking it's gonna go, and I was playing the worst Smash I've ever played in my life because all you can think about is go away, go away, go away, go away. And for like 40 minutes, I was like, "It's not fucking going," and I ended up just having to go outside. Put the pad down, go outside, and I was just like, fucking me. Took like an hour for this to go away because I was just worried. When you're worried about it so much, it doesn't. But I've learned a trick since then. If you just tense your arms for a bit, the blood flows to your muscles and it goes away.
No way, does it?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I do it all the time. Whenever I've got a stiffy in like the wrong time, if you just like start tensing your arms, it takes a minute, but it's gone.
Do you still get them at weird times? I haven't had
All
that
the time.
for a long time.
It's not weird times, but if
Like
I
at a
just
funeral.
don't want it at the minute, I'll just get rid of it.
Stand up right now.
No, don't. Just in case.
Just in case. Yeah, I think it's an age thing though, because I don't tend to get, spontaneous boners over nothing, or like stress boners, if that's what you're talking about. Oh, I'm a bit worried. Oh, there it is.
I suppose it is.
No, that doesn't tend to happen. I think there was a time and a place it did, but I think with age you learn to control the sword. The sword doesn't control you.
I don't know. I think the sword controls a lot of people.
I think it's just that your testosterone is still raging at the moment, and mine and Phil's is on the decline at the minute. So that's probably what's going to happen. Next time you see us, that estrogen would have like lifted up, so our voices would be slightly higher.
The type of games we'll be playing would be slightly different.
Yes, we're playing that little Infinity Nikki game or whatever, and it's all just game over from there. It's all game over. So you're saying you'll go for the permanent stiffy then, in this scenario? Okay, fair enough. What about yourself, Mr. Hoy? Where are you going with this?
Well, I'm at an age where I'm using it less and less. So I'm probably at this stage, if it's not for the entirety of my life, because I've had my fun, I've been around the block once or twice. I think at this stage, because of the style of clothing that I wear, generally I have the slightly tighter jean on these days, I would have said, yeah, I'd probably prefer to have the permanent floppy on, because it's less embarrassing just generally. You talk about going into work, you talk about, funerals, going into schools. They're all places you don't want boners, and that's going to become more of my life as I get a bit older. There's going to be schools involved, there's going to be more funerals involved, and neither of those places I want to have a boner. So I'm going to go for the permanent floppy from 40. And I've still got a couple of months.
Do you think that it might not cause conflict in your relationship? Because what if your missus is like in the mood? She drops your trousers and she's like, oh, do you not fancy me anymore? Why is it soft? And she can't do anything to get it up.
Because I'll say, I answered this stupid question on a podcast, and these boys have cursed me. Ever since I answered it, I can't get it up. So if you've got a problem with that, go and speak to Davey and Spencer and make them pay. Make them pay for my floppy cock.
I think you can get those like you can get surgeries done, can't you? So you can have it so that like, say it's like, like when people like lose their dick, like not like it's gone one day, but like they were in a tragic accident or something. Oh no, it's gone.
Oh, it's here.
Not again. Not
What's
again.
it doing there?
Curse you. I mean, like, if you're in a tragic accident or whatever, you can have like these things put in. Yeah, and then it's like you got like one fake ball, I've heard, and you squidge it, and then you just you get it again. Yeah, it's like a pipe thing in there or something.
A penis pump kind of thing, but it's like
kinda, but it's not like, I don't know I think your dick's just like made from like spare toe or bit of thigh or whatever, and then you press this thing and it goes up, right? And I imagine it's like a mangled. Like, there's a fucking toenail on it or something. Yeah. I'd like it to make a noise, yeah.
Yeah, mechanical.
I'd like to have a little, like, like a little wheel that you like turning. Yeah.
I'd like the Benny Hill music.
While you're winding it up. But yeah, you can have those kind of things. But I think the big thing for me, and I think I'm kind of agreeing with you, Phil. I think and it's little things as well. Like, I think in the morning when you wake up or when one wakes up and you got like a rock on, pissing is a fucking traumatic experience.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because it goes everywhere. Like the stream just splits in half immediately. You're pissing everywhere else. You can't sit down. Like if you need a shit, you just can't because you
the fucking bowl.
Yeah. No. Like it's
women
a big no.
do not know this pain.
No.
They moan all the time about babies, all the problems they got. They don't know about trying to go to the toilet with a stiff dick.
No. It's solid.
Huge problems.
It is. It's a fucking proper problem. And that would be your daily life if you had a permanent erection. Like, that is your daily. And you'd have to figure some best... You'd probably get really good at aiming it after time.
Shooting it from by the door.
yeah, you'd probably be able to, yeah. Or you'd get 2 toilets put in on either side of the wall. So you just piss into both. Like a urinal. 2 urinals lining the walls. You can't miss then. Your miss is never going to be told off. You're never
or
going
use
to be
the bath.
The bath, yeah. Just pee in the shower.
Just a bit mank though, isn't it? Plus,
Always.
if you're peeing in the shower, sure, but when you got a stiffy, that's not going in the shower. It's going on the walls.
Yeah.
It's just a bit.
Yeah. It's very true.
Sure, you could just grab the shower head though and just.
Yeah, you could clean up after yourself. Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. But I think for all those reasons, I'd probably fit to go with the floppy. I think the big thing though is like you'd have to be in a relationship first before you make that choice, because otherwise it'd be a hard thing to bring up. Like if you're already in love with somebody, you're there, you're already sorted. You can be like, look, I've been cursed. This gypsy curse has happened. I've now lost the ability to have an erection. To be like, well, I still love you and we can do whatever, right? But you'd never been able to. Well, you'd have to thumb in a floppy, right? All the time.
Which never gets hard.
No,
it's just soft in there the whole time.
That would be a nightmare, and it would just be embarrassing for
awful.
everyone. Yeah, it'd be embarrassing for everyone.
She'd moan, and you'd be like, "Don't lie to me."
It's like the first time you have sex over and over again. Because there's problems the first time you have sex, and they haunt you for a while, don't they? So if that's always going to continue, that is a sorry state. So yeah, of course, it needs to happen at a point. I said 40. What's your age you're picking, Davey? When are you having the chop off?
If I could put an age on it, I don't know, 90? 90 would be
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. End of life? Yeah.
that'd be
We're
fine.
saying from this moment on, I think, would be the
Oh,
thing.
are we?
Yeah, from this moment.
Can we prolong this conversation a little longer?
Episode 100 never has to end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'd go from now. And the either option sucks, right? Like day-to-day life would just be a nightmare for either of these scenarios. But at least the one, when it's floppy, the only time it's a real problem is in the bedroom, but the rest of your life totally unaffected. Whereas when it's permanent erection, you're great in the bedroom. In fact, you're a fucking super soldier in the bedroom. You're a pleasure machine, but everywhere else fucking sucks. So it's that choice, isn't it? It's a
I
choice.
think it depends how good you are at hiding it, though. It's not always going to be visible, is it? Like baggy trousers stuff. It's like when you're watching porn and they're wearing jeans or something, and they take the trousers down, you can't see it through the jeans initially. But as soon as it comes out, it's like fucking that's a whole fucking leg.
It could be editing, mate. We edit the fuck out of this podcast.
I don't think they're CGing out people's bulges in porn. I think that's part of the thing.
They're probably just like, right, we got the scenes now of you coming in fixing the drain. Cut. Now she's going to pull your trousers down. And it's like, oh, yeah, all right, yeah, no worries. I've just popped a couple of these pills. We're good to go, baby. And they're like, yeah, nice one. Nice one, Johnny Sins. You go, mate.
Johnny Sins. Is
It's
that a
only
real
male
porn
star I
star?
know.
Oh, I
Don't
thought that was like
act like you don't know.
Spencer's fake porn star name, Johnny
There's
Sins.
no way he doesn't know.
Yeah, of course he knows.
They call
surely.
them carrots in the porn industry, you know?
Do they? What,
Yeah,
male?
that's what they call
men?
Carrots.
Viagra's, they call them carrots.
Oh.
Wow. On that bombshell, I think it's about time we'll move it on to what we've been playing. So, audience, I don't really want to know what you'd pick, but if you do feel like sharing, then you can in a number of ways. You can reach out to us on X at @PSWeTrust, or you can hit us up on the email pswetrust@gmail.com. Either or, and who knows, maybe 101 we're back round talking about stiffies and softies again. Floppy or
Floppy or
right.
solid.
Floppy or solid, the ultimate question that defined an age. But with that, let's move it on to what we've been playing.
This time on NPS We Trust, what have the boys been playing?
So guys, it's been 2 weeks since the last podcast episode, and I'm desperate to know what you've been up to in that time. Spence, I'm going to come across over to you. What have you been playing, mate?
Sure, mate. So the big one I've been playing, I'll start with the big one. The Last of Us 2, I mentioned it before. I was going through it for my platinum run. And, well, there's not too much to say. I've finished it. So I now have the platinum.
Ooh, that's a platinum. Really well done.
Thank you, mate. And good friend of the show, Joseph Thomas, lent me his Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, which lets you upload your save. So now I also have the platinum for Last of Us Part 2 too.
Ooh, that's a platinum.
You're just getting golf claps for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a full clap.
It's a bit naff, and I would be embarrassed by it. However, it's staying installed, and I'm playing the roguelike mode, and I'm going to try get all the trophies for that.
Oh,
so
nice.
I don't want it to just be done and installed the game. I'm at least going to keep playing it and put some time into it. So it's not worth nothing.
Oh, fair dues. Well done. No, well done on finally ticking off the Last of Us 2 plat. That's been, it's been a number of years now that you've had that kind of ticking on. Like, I remember getting the platinum at the time of its release, like just playing it back to back and just getting it done. And I've been craving, actually, going back and playing it again. So, as Joseph borrowed my copy of Astros, that copy may be coming my way, Spence, after for The Last of Us 2. So, we'll see, though. I've got a few things on my plate. But how did you enjoy going back to The Last of Us Part 2? Did you find that you've enjoyed it more and more since playing it again for another time and playing the new kind of modes that come with this remaster?
Well, I've only played No Return for one run so far because I've had quite a busy weekend. It was kind of a full-on weekend. I basically lived with my mates for the whole weekend. It was mental. We woke up, we stayed out drinking all Friday, woke up at 7 a.m. on Saturday, went for a hike. Stupid, daft fucking idea. Went for a hike all day then. We were up till 3 a.m. that night playing games I'm going to talk about now. And then all Sunday day we were together as well. I was sick of them. Absolutely sick of them. Lovely lads. I hated them by the end. But
I know the feeling, Spence.
yeah, but it was a good time. But Last of Us 2, what I have been playing, it's just a fucking perfect game. I know people hate on it for the story and everything, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I did my first time through because the story's never going to hit the same way. But you just don't skip the cutscenes. You just play through all of it. It's fucking beautiful. It's brilliant. I regret that I had to play it on the PS4 version and then play No Return on the PS5. I wish I could play the whole game again on PS5, but I'm not doing that right now. Maybe I'll do that closer to Last of Us Part 3, but it's such a long game, but it is fucking beautiful. I love it more and more every time. You pick up on more little things. It's just great. Fucking sick. And No Return is a fantastic game mode. My one friend that I had over kept saying to me Last of Us 2 is shit because it has no gameplay. And I said, what? He said, yeah, it's got no gameplay. It's just a story that no one even likes. And I was like, you haven't played it? He's like, I've seen it. I was like, what do you mean you've seen it? He said, yeah, I watched it on YouTube. I said, watched what? He said, well, I watched all the cutscenes. I'm like, whoa. So you watched all the cutscenes and not the gameplay? He went, yeah. I went, and you're saying it has no gameplay? Yeah, it doesn't. It's like, you fucking retard. I was
what
like,
a
you
stupid argument.
You dickhead. I couldn't believe it. He's like, you don't need the gameplay. It's all in the cutscenes. But like, you don't know how much you're missing from not having that gameplay. It's a 30-odd hour game. I was baffled. Absolutely baffled. I've never thought so little of my friend as much as I did when he said that. Baffled. So I made him watch some of No Return. He was like, oh yeah, it looks quite good. I was like, yeah, look, it is.
Yeah, good. Convert him. This should be a service you do now, Spence, is you should just go around, like Lewis's house would probably be next, to go around and just show them why they're wrong about The Last of Us Part 2. Like, everyone who talks shit online, you go around and just be like, look, just fucking play a little bit, all right? Just fucking experience it again. And they're like, I already have, I've got the platinum. Do it again until you like it. Pull the gun out. Until you tell me you fucking love it, all right? Okay. I love Abby now.
Lewis would never change his mind. I wish I could, but he's concrete, he's set in stone, he never will.
Each their own. So, well done on those. What else have you been up to then? You mentioned other games.
Yeah, so there are two other games. We played quite a little catalogue of games, but the two I want to talk about. First one, a little revisit to Dreams. Obviously, I was with my two mates. I thought, this will be fun. We'll just get drunk and look at some random shit on Dreams. It was in the news the other week, someone has recreated PT, Silent Hills, in Dreams. And we all thought, let's play that. It's 1-to-1. It's brilliant. It's really, really fucking good. The only issue is the graphics are a little bit worse, but you don't really notice. And the model of Lisa, the woman chasing you, is different. But she's still spooky. all the puzzles, like the way going through the loops and stuff and everything you have to do to solve the actual game is exactly the same. It's perfect. It's actually brilliant.
Oh wow. That's a really cool feature, isn't it? Because it's such a shame these days. And I remember when the game went off and like PlayStation 4s were going on sale on eBay for like hundreds and hundreds of pounds extra of what the retail was because they had PT installed. And I remember thinking, oh, I've deleted mine off, but I can just download it. You know, I've redeemed it from the store. And no, it's just gone forever. Like, there's no way to get it back. So, to be able to at least have an iteration of it, I know that PC has loads of different variations on PT that people have done themselves and put on like Steam or elsewhere. But that's always a really nice time. And I mean, we only dabbled a little bit when you were around mine, I think, before when we were drinking. We played a little bit of Dreams. And it was serviceable, and there was some good stuff on there, like good fan levels of like Dead Space or whatever it is, right? But did you find any other little gems? Because I remember we were playing like the Motorstorm one, and that's fucking class. But did you find any other like little nuggets that people could go to?
We mostly just looked at like stupid visual novels or shorts people made because we weren't really in the mood to play games. But there was one thing we did find. If you basically just go into the top recommended and go to the horror games, a lot of them are really good. Like actually really well made. Loads of like spooky, not so much jump scare, but just spooky puzzle horror games. And they look like something you could just download on Steam. That sure isn't like a high budget, a lot of effort to make. But there was one, I can't remember what it was called. But you start in a house, you're locked in there. And actually really beautiful. It's a really good looking one. And you walk in, under the stairs, there's a little thing on the left, a scroll. You have to find the 3 symbols on the scroll, and you find them by solving 3 different little puzzles around the house. You come back and do it. Then as you open the scroll, all these hands start like coming through the walls and the stairs and everything, like really creepy and really well done. And then this beast, demon, tribe looking thing comes out of the ground and starts walking towards you. And I was like, fuck me, this is scary. I was like, this is good. Like, I'd paid money for this. So that was a good one. I think it's the second most recommended horror game on there after PT now. But it was brilliant. I think everyone should just look. That is the genre for Dreams.
It's always fun when you're around like a mate's house, having a couple of beers, and you're just kind of searching around at random IPs. Because I remember when we were around yours, Davey, and we looked for a Spider-Man game, and there was quite a good replication of Spider-Man 1 where they were like swinging around the city. And I think there was, and I can say at this stage because we're still in playing, a Resident Evil 3 kind of rip-off where Nemesis would chase you around these tunnels. And it was fun, but it wasn't great, I don't believe. And it didn't make me want to play any of Dreams. But my question doesn't relate to sort of playing Dreams. My question here relates to making things in Dreams. Has anyone spent any time looking at that creation tool within Dreams and how you actually put things together? Or have you only just sort of dived into what's already been created, Spence?
Just dove into what's created. I'm not a creative person, my friend. I've said this before, I don't like games to give me choice. I like games to tell me what to do. If I have any choice or freedom to be creative, I don't care. I'm not about it. The creation thing, my mates told me, why don't you try and make your own? I said, fuck off. It's not something I would enjoy.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like, ultimately there's a bunch of people out there that have already kind of done it.
Yeah.
This is what I think about, when people are like, oh, you're going to take your camera to New York? I'm like, why? There's 1,000,001 photos of the Statue of Liberty, and they're done by better photographers than me. So why am I so up myself and think that I could go and take a better photo of said Statue of Liberty? And I'd imagine it's the same with Dreams, because you don't want to spend any time learning the tool. You've got it free on PS Plus, I believe, and now you can just dip in and just select a couple of the top games and spend a bit of time in there having a nice beer with a friend. So I can understand why you've spent a bit of time in there, Spence.
Yeah, it's great. The one big thing as well, the PT remake they've done in there, that's like, it's perfect. It supports VR.
Oh, wow.
Fuck that. I saw the option and I was like, nope, no chance. Because it is like 1-to-1. Imagine playing the original PT in VR. You would shit yourself.
Yeah, be terrifying. That's a big no-no for me. That is a total no-no for me. Like, that is... that sounds like nightmare fuel. And no, I'm good. It's scary enough when I watch it. Just when I played it through myself on a TV in my mum's still living at home, I think, at that time. Yeah, in my bedroom at my mum's house, all lights off, curtains closed and all. And I had my girlfriend at the time next to me, and we didn't make it far. Like, we didn't make it too far. Like, as soon as you go in, I remember the sink with like the dead baby in it, or like the baby. Remember that, and then the woman on top of the stairs, and then she's hanging at one point, and I was like, yeah, nah, I'm good. I definitely didn't see it all the way through to the Silent Hills like trailer thing at the end. I never even remotely got close. I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm sold on this when this eventually comes out, and then obviously never came to pass. But no, I'm glad you've had a good time in Dreams, mate. It's one of those things that we shit on Media Molecule all the time, and rightly so. They fucking deserve it. Yeah. But it's just a shame, really, isn't it? That something as powerful as this, and there's no way to be able to get any monetary reward. So people just go in there, learn all these tools for literally no fucking reason. Which is just a real shame. Because, like, platforms like Roblox and stuff like that, people creating their own levels, their own games within those, and they got huge potential for monetary reward on the back of it. And here, diddly fuck. It's just a real shame they undercooked it like that. But we've dunked on that so many times. So you've got one final game, I believe, don't you, Spence, to talk about today?
I do. I won't talk about it too much. It's For the King, which is a game I wanted to play a long time ago, but never got around to. But whilst my mates were over, my one friend suggested it. It's like a really dumbed down version of D&D, but it's really good. So you all pick a character. I was a hunter, so I was ranged. My friend Kyle was a blacksmith, and Dan was, he was like a healer. He was a bard. He was a bard is what he was. So what you do, you basically just we started with the original campaign. It starts you on this thing, gives you quests and all that. And you go around, the board changes. It's like a hexagonal board. You don't roll a dice as such. It kind of does it in the background. But each time you have, say, 5 movement slots, and it's like a coin, so heads or tails. You'll either get that one or you won't, and it'll dictate how far you can move. And then you just want to get to your quests, beat everything along the way, so enemies might pop up. If your enemies aren't nearby, then you're in that fight alone. And that fight might be easier if you're an intelligence-based character, or a strength-based character, or a talent-based character, which was the bard. And it's just, each character has their strengths, and it's about working as a team and just doing what's best. It's great. Really, really, really fun. And I think us three should play it. It's a free player co-op game.
Do you know what we should actually play? We should really just play D&D.
I'd love to.
Because that's been a game that a lot of people have always said, yeah, we should do that. And it's just never happened. Now, we got into a little bit of board game playing, didn't we? And we played the Resident Evil 2 board game, and that was hugely enjoyable. We need to replay that and play some more of the missions on there. And I highlighted, the Devil May Cry board game to you, Spence, a couple of weeks back, and that looked interesting as well. I think the level of board games, there's so much out there that we just haven't consumed. And I think the closest thing to sort of D&D from my past would be something like Warhammer Quest, which is a Games Workshop kind of version of D&D, where it's kind of like a dungeon crawler, where you would have like a barbarian, you would have an elf, you would have a dwarf, etc., and you would go through said dungeon to be able to complete said quest. And yeah, I'd be very much up for playing D&D, but we need an experienced dungeon master, because what I think I know about D&D is that you need someone to craft the story. It's not like the Warhammer game where the story is played out by the rules. The story is played by the dungeon master who controls the dungeon. Is that correct?
Kinda, yeah. You can buy like starter packs which have a quest already made in them. So then, and that would be the way that you can kind of get in. But I think the most enjoyable experience would be if we got somebody who was like hardcore D&D, like they know it all through thick and thin, and they can guide you. Rather than, you know what it was like when we were playing like the Resident Evil 2 board game. None of us knew the rules. So you're all kind of figuring out as you go, and you're constantly checking the rule book. Whereas if we had somebody that was like an experienced dungeon master, then they could be like, no, guys, you can't fucking just go and do this. Like, and they could teach us as we're going through it and kind of weave it into this story. So I think we do need to do that. There are events and like nights that you can go to in like different like games cafes and stuff where you can try it and try like a D&D taster session and stuff. I'll be well up for
Let's
it.
do that. Let's do that.
I'll be well
can
up
we
for it.
rent a dungeon master? Pay him by the hour.
You can. You definitely can.
Yeah. That would be an incredible thing to do. My birthday is coming up soon. Let's do that for my birthday. That'd be
I'd
a
love to do
cool
it.
thing to do. We won't
I'd
tell
love to
anyone
as
we've
well.
done it. We've done it because it seems quite lame and quite geeky. But we might talk about it on the podcast. But outside our very close circle of friends here, won't tell anyone we've done that. We'll say we've been to watch the football and had a pint, like the boys.
Mate, I'm going to be drinking mead, bro. I'm going to make my barbarian drinking mead. I'm going to be in character immediately. So I'm going to be there with face paint on, no t-shirt, you know.
Oh,
and
do you actually have to play the character yourself?
Well, you
don't have
do the
you
voice.
role play. You don't have to dress as them.
Because Spence is usually a girl character.
That's true.
Oh, hello.
I would be a girl character as well. That is true. Every single role would be like, I'll shag him. Roll nat 20. Yeah, he's desperate for it. Yes. Sneak past
the
boys.
wall.
Who's this sexy little elf? Well, hello, I'm Spencer. I'm permanently hard.
My friend literally has DM'd a few times, and all he does is just this Reddit threads of people that have written campaigns and just posted the campaigns. So it's really easy. You get into D&D easy now.
Something to bear in mind for the future. I'd be definitely keen for it. And audience, if any of you out there are crazy D&D heads and you want to be able to guide us in terms of just telling us where we can find these resources, what we can do, what we need, how we get going, please let us know, because we're all fucking clueless. And it's nice that we've all got a little passion in that. That's yeah, I'd be well up for that. That'd be awesome. But no, for the King sounds really good, Spence. I think the problem for me is at the moment I got too many things on. Too many games that I want to play. One of them we're going to be talking about in Phil's list in just a moment, and I'm very keen to be able to purchase that and get into it. But first, Phil, let's throw it over to a game that I know you have been playing, Astrobot. How's it been going, my friend?
I am Astrobot. God, that bloody tune is so addictive, isn't it? It's been going around in my head since I started playing the game, and it still hasn't faded away. Now, I've completed Astrobot. I haven't completed every single thing in there, but I have completed the story. And boy, what a game, guys. This is a Game of the Year contender for sure. And I know we discussed it last episode where you were going, nah, it'll fade away. It'll fade away quickly. Now completing the game and seeing that ending, and I don't want to go into spoilers, but wow, very, very cool. It is in there. It's up there for me. It really is. It's a 10 out of 10. It still is a 10 out of 10. And I very much enjoyed my time with Astrobot. I don't want to go into too many spoilers, but a particular standout for me. And anyone who's played a couple of levels will understand that once you find a few characters, named characters throughout the levels, they start appearing in the crash site, and then you can go to said crash site and interact with them. And each character has like an individual, unique interaction that you can play with them. And they're very, very cool and cute. And you can waste away hours going around, because I think there's over 300 Astrobots to sort of collect around all the different galaxies, and there's some secret ones as well, I'm led to believe. And as I said, they're all unique interactions. And yeah, I spent way too much time just going around and just hitting Kratos and hitting Jill and hitting, all the different characters that were on that planet. I don't want to go into too many spoilers with it. All right, guys. But I think give it a month or so, and we can talk about more specifics. Maybe we can go into some of those character levels, because again, those are great. I think those are the highlight of the entire game.
I completely agree with you. Some of those character levels are amazing, and I imagine that when we get to our Game of the Year discussion, gloves are off at that point. I reckon we can spoil at that point. It's been long enough by then to go into it. If it was like a 70-hour experience, then or even 30, I'd probably be like, maybe we don't, right? But it's not a huge time investment, this game, to be able to see pretty much everything it's got. So yeah, I think by December, we can really crack open the arse on some of these character levels, because you're right, they really sing. And I think it'd be interesting to talk about which one was our favourites, but we'll save that till towards the end of the year, I imagine.
And the choice of character level as well, I find, is quite interesting. The ones that they picked and the ones that they didn't pick. And I think some of the things that they did pick relates quite nicely to what Toki Hiroki said a couple of weeks ago, where he was saying things from the past of PlayStation we don't tend to see too much on PS5. And we might have got a sprinkling of that throughout Astrobot. So it was a welcome addition.
Certainly was, my friend. But the platinum eludes you even still.
Well, I actually completed the game. And I think there was a couple of the challenge levels that I ended up finishing, because those get a little frustrating towards the end. But there's a particular one which I just played over and over again. And I was like, right, I've got to finish this one. But once I finish it, I'm moving on because I've got another game which I bought very close to Astrobot, which I wanted to start. Okay. So I haven't gone through to the platinum. I think I will end up doing it one day. But that particular one level, it was all to do with timings. It was,
okay.
if you remember which one this could possibly be.
I think
it
so.
Kind of had a beat to it.
Yeah,
and things would change at a certain point in the beat. Yeah, I got like halfway and then I got a little bit further and I got a little bit further again. And I was like, oh, I've got to do this. And then once I've completed that, I'll move on to the next game. And the next game that I did move on to was Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Okay, so that came out on the 9th of September. And as I said, I ordered it at the same time as Astrobot. And as soon as that came through the door, my hype levels were on a whole new level because I've been waiting for Space Marine 2 for a very long time. Well, since the PS3 version of Space Marine, because I absolutely loved that game. So this is a third-person shooter hack and slash video game developed by Saber and published by Focus Entertainment. And I know we spoke about playing the game together, Davey, and we still can. Because as I said, I bloody love it. I would play it again. I'm playing it through at the moment on medium, and the game is exactly what it says on the tin. You are massive space marines combating the forces of evil, the Tyranids, and chaos. And chaos are always involved. They're always like the big bad when it comes to the Warhammer world. And yes, they are involved. It's not really a spoiler. The game isn't exactly hard, so sorry to let you down there, Davey. It's actually pretty damn easy on medium. I don't know what it gets like on the elevated difficulties, but I'm sure we'll find that out very, very soon. PlayStation Cards is telling me I'm already 50% of the way through the story, and Google told me it's only 10 hours in length that you can actually complete the story. There's other things that happen. So you've got a mainline mission, and then other Space Marines go off and do other things that affect your mission. So you can go and play those. And I don't think that's counted within the full timing of completing said mainline. And of course, you've got the multiplayer as well, which I'm excited to dive into because that doesn't look as if it's going to be great, but I think it could be fun. It's one of those. Okay. So a short game, which is perfect in my length. The game is just dumb fun. It's go along and squash as many nids as you can. And do it in a spectacular way, spreading blood everywhere, and doing it for the Emperor. I've got to give it an 8 out of 10. And Davey, once you're ready, let's jump back in because I'll replay this game to death. I'm going to get the platinum on this already.
Hell yeah. It's definitely, I will guarantee you that we will play this before the end of the year. Because I want this myself really badly. The only thing when I'm talking about timings is, this week is the launch of Sparking Zero.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered it ages ago. I managed to get the collector's edition, the physical collector's edition, and every day I've been, because if I went digital, I would have access tomorrow to it. But because I went physical edition, in the States, they're sending their physical editions out to be the 3-day early access. UK, apparently not. Apparently we get it on the 10th on worldwide release. Fucking ridiculous.
That is awful.
Yeah.
You pay extra, you pay premium for something. You buy the collector's edition, the special edition, right? And you pay like a big premium here, a big whack, a couple £100, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah.
Around that sort of area.
Yeah.
And you've got to wait. So the only way for you to play it is to get the digital as well, right?
If I wanted to, yeah. And this is one of those weird times. This is one of those weird times where, we were always complaining about how for collector's editions, why do they have like a code in a box? I would fucking kill for a code right now. Like, I would kill for a code rather than a physical disc. But no, I got to wait all the way up until the 10th, apparently. And I went onto the Namco store just before we sat down to record to just check on my order status, and it just says, in preparation. It's not even being shipped. It might not even be here. And then the worst thing is, I go to New York on Sunday. So I've only got like a few days with this, and I've got to have it in my PlayStation so I can take my Portal with me to the States. Like, I've got to have it in there.
Make sure to take your camera, because I really would love to see a picture of the Statue of Liberty.
I'm doing a tour, mate, so I'll make sure instead of a camera, you'll have a doco. I'll do a full-on doco, mate. So you can have that. And audience, if you want to see a doco of me and my dad getting baked up, because weed is legal over in New York. So if you want to see us getting baked up and getting trashed while we stumble around New York City, then just let me know. There's no Patreon tiers or anything here. I can just release to the public on demand. So just let me know if you want to see that absolute traumatic experience that I'm going to put my dad through. But yeah, so I will get to Space Marine 2, my friend. I've just got to get Dragon Ball out of my head at the moment, and I'm so far. I mean, like, my head's always up Dragon Ball's ass, but at the moment, in the run-up to this, I've been listening to what-if stories. So there's YouTubers who do, like, what if Bardock turned Super Saiyan against Frieza? Or what if Goku landed on Beerus's planet instead of landing on Earth? And all these things. And I've been listening to, like, 2 hours, like, 2-hour what-if stories, like, every day. Every day for the last 2 weeks now. I've just had them on while I've been working and just doing admin or whatever, just listening to what if stories for Dragon Ball. I'm so keen. You have no idea. So nothing else at the moment is really... I can't buy anything else because it won't get touched, including Silent Hill 2, which looks fucking incredible. And that's going on the back burner.
Sadly, it looks good, doesn't it?
Yes.
Fantasy Critic. It's got really good reviews. Really good reviews. But I'm very happy as well because I wanted it to be good because I genuinely want to buy it and play it.
Yeah. So much like that, that's gone on the back burner as well. That'd be before end of year. So I can't wait to get to this. Now, Spence, the big question is, Space Marine 2 is a 3-player game. If I buy it digital, that's the only way to get you in on this, isn't it? You're not going to put down the money on Space Marine 2, I imagine.
Exactly right, yeah. I can't. To be fair, it looks brilliant. So if I could afford to, I would, but I can't. So that is the only way I'd be able to get involved.
I do hope the difficulty ramps up, though, in the later stages of this game, or in the higher difficulties of the game, as I mentioned earlier, because playing it through medium, I do not need your help. I have not died once. It is very easy. It's just entertainment, guys. We're not talking a Dark Souls ripoff here. This is just dumb fun, all right? I'm warning you now. So if you do spend that money and we put it on the higher difficulty and we're still smashing, I've told you. I've warned you.
I think that's the thing, though, isn't it? It's just fun, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, not every game needs to be Dark Souls, you know? Not every game needs to be really hard. It'll be fine. As long as we're having fun, doesn't matter, does it?
Exactly right, my friend.
I did tell you.
And speaking of fun, I got 2 games to talk about today. The first is I've been ticking off a game that I was very excited to see come to the PlayStation Premium Collection. Mr. Motherfucking Mosquito. I've been playing the fuck out of this game, and I mean the fuck. So I booted it up, and I was like, I wonder what it's going to be like. And I had Karen next to me, and I was like, I remember this game. I was telling the lads about this. No judgment, this might be shit. It controls hard. To put it like I've gotten used to it, but fuck me, it took a while. It was a journey to be able to get like good with this control. I'm about 7 hours in to Mr. Mosquito. I've completed everything. I've done all the main game. So there's 12 stages, so I've done all 12. So all the way from the basic story is, and I didn't remember this, they're fully like acted out, and they're like Japanese people who are speaking English, and so the accents the voice acting's horrific. It's so bad, so bad. It's like she'd be like, "Kamada, are you coming to have your tea?" And she's like, "No, Mama, no." And it's just that. And you're just this mosquito going into this Japanese house and just fucking preying on this family. And then each stage, they get more elaborate in their ways they're trying to stop the mosquito. So at first, they don't know. So the first level's easy because it's just a woman lying on the bed and reading a magazine. And you just go up. You got 1 point. So see if I can describe this without sounding completely insane, right? You've got a square box room, so just like a bedroom. Within that, you've got a person who you know is your target. You don't know where you need to find this blood-sucking point on them. It's somewhere on their body. And when you go in, it tells you how many EX tanks are in the environment, so little collectibles that you can find to get extra blood. And then it tells you like how many things of blood you need to be able to get and how many spots there are on this person. And that's all the information you're given. So you just go in, you're just flying around a person until you randomly see like a little red rectangle, which then at that point you can press circle and you zoom in onto it, like zoom down, and then it becomes like an analog game where you got to spin the analog stick to keep. There's a bar that comes up, and there's like a sweet spot window. You got to keep it within that sweet spot. So on level 1, that sweet spot won't really move. So you just get your rotation, you get up to that point, you keep it there, you just keep sucking. And then what will happen is they got like a little health bar, and if it goes red, then at some point when it goes red, they'll swat you and kill you in one. So you can then have to leave and then come back to that point. But if they go red when you're off them, you go into a battle with them. And so the battle is they'll try and hit you with insecticide or whatever it is. And they got certain points, like weak points on their body that flash red. You have to then find and hit those weak points to then calm them down again. And that's the game, right? And so it starts
Sounds
off
insane.
It is insane. It is insane. But it's really fucking good. Like, it's actually really fun. I've been really enjoying it. And I've been going for the platinum, and I'd love to say I've done the platinum, but I haven't yet at this point. I've done... The trophy list is pretty tricky, actually. It's only at a 0.6% completion rate at the minute. And it's been a number of weeks since it's been out. So you have to, like, complete the game. You then need to do it under a certain time limit. So it's like an overall time of something like 20 minutes, I think, to do the entire game. Did that. You have to do the battle time of under 4 minutes. So you have to beat all 12 bosses within 4 minutes overall. That was quite tricky. And then, and this is the reason why I'm fucked, is that you got collectibles in the map. And it's not just like the EX tanks. You got random hearts. And these hearts are fucking tiny. I mean, like, microscopic. Like, you'll be right next to them and you won't see them. And they're dotted all around the level, random places. No idea how many each level, maybe 10. You've got to find them all. And good to go, right? And then you'll 100% it. And there's a trophy for 100% completion. The problem is, I was following a guide on my later goes, because I thought I'm going to get all these collectibles and get this platty. There's a microwave on this one level that you fly into, and you've got like 25 seconds to find these 8 different hearts in this microwave. And if you do it, you come out with an extra 100 hearts it gives you, which is like an extra 2 lives. And if you fuck it once, over. That's it. Done. And I must have flown in there on like an earlier level before I was collecting everything, not realised. So I've gone through all this effort collecting every level, not got the 100%, didn't know why, and it's because I fucked it miles ago. So now I have to... Yeah, so then, on my platinum journey, after you collect all 12 EX blood canisters, you unlock year 2, where you go back in from the start, but it's harder. So there's more like things in the environment, there's more suck points, all that kind of stuff. I need to try and get the 100% completion on year 2, which is going to be even fucking harder. So that's standing in my way of the platinum for this at the moment. So wish me luck, lads. I'm hopeful that I can say when I come back from New York that I've earned myself a platinum trophy on this. But at the moment, it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a tall fucking climb here.
My question, Davey, are you going to be taking your PlayStation Portal to New York and playing it from the States?
I will. Yeah, I am. I'm going to take it with me. I'm staying in a pretty good hotel, so I should have good internet. So the only thing is going to be the distance between me and the PlayStation. I think this would be the ultimate test. And something like Mr. Mosquito, or I'm going to put the Metal Gear Solid Collection in my PlayStation before I go as well. I'm going to try those kind of experiences on it and see how it goes. You know, I don't dare play Sparking Zero as much as I want to. I'm not. You know, I'm going to New York Comic Con. There's going to be a stall for Sparking Zero. I can smoke a load of kids. It's going to be fine. I'll get my fix there. But yeah, I'm taking games which should be quite easy to run on the Portal over that distance of latency. But I'll let you know how bad it goes and if I should have brought a Switch with me, which I think may be my answer after this. But we'll soon see. We'll soon see.
Yeah, it'd be good to know because I'm off to Orlando in December and I'm contemplating taking my Portal. But one thing I did want to test, and maybe you can do this for me, maybe you can do a bit of a scouting run, is to try it on aeroplane Wi-Fi. Because that's the ultimate test.
I'll tell you what, I'll put it in my hand luggage. I was going to put it in the case and just put it through, but I'll put it in my hand luggage. I'll give it a go. I got nothing to lose, do I? By just carrying it around, other than the weight of the damn thing. But yeah, I'll be fine. I'll do it. I'll give it a go. Who knows? Maybe I can earn Mr. Mosquito Platinum on my flight, because I got a fucker of a flight. So it's going to be a hell of a long one. I got to go over to Madrid and then go over to New York. It's going to be a fucking nightmare. So yeah, I'll have plenty of time to let you know how bad of an experience it was. But it can't be worse than my campsite Wi-Fi that I had playing Metal Gear. So it's got to be better than that, surely. And, you know, you're closer to the satellites up in the sky. So surely...
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's 100% how it
Surely
works.
it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But the only other thing I've been playing, I won't spend too long on this, is I am up the arse at the moment of Street Fighter 6, like really up on the arse. Last week, I believe it was, or the week before, was National Terrence Day. So Terry Bogard released on the Street Fighter 6, and I've been picking him up. And I tell you what, it's been a fucking nightmare. It's been so hard to learn this character. And I'm only just now at the point where I'm feeling confident. I've just risen up. I've been playing a lot of ranked. And it's been a really good place for me to be able to just like get my combos down, get my B&Bs down, get my general game plan down. And I did my 10 rank games, got into Diamond 1, and then I'm now just put myself into Diamond 2. So I'm on the grind up, moving through Diamond at the moment, and so far not having too many problems, especially now that I've got his basic game plan down and can start sourcing some people. But I'll tell you what, if somebody's stepped away from Street Fighter 6 for a long time and they thought about coming back for Terrence, he's hard, like very hard to play. So, you know, if you're a Ryu player like myself, it's a tough old climb, this, but finally starting to enjoy it. Now, Spence, you've been playing quite a lot of Street Fighter 6 yourself lately. How are you finding Terrence's inclusion?
Well, I've played maybe like 2 or 3 Terrys on ranked, and I've played a lot with you. I think so far you're better than the Terrys I've played on ranked so far, and they're all master rank. So I don't think it's going to be long till you're up there with me. But he's definitely a strong character, to say the least. His damage output is ridiculous. His number of special moves is crazy. He's got the longest legs I've ever seen on a character, which is just a nightmare. I've got long legs. I play Cammy. Her whole thing is her legs. That's her whole gimmick. It's her whole game. She has lovely legs. I stick a leg out, misses. You stick a leg out, I'm getting hit. It's like, what the fuck? It's like I'm fighting Dalsim. It's a pain in the arse. But he's a really cool character, the way he works. I'm still not too happy that it was him that was included, just because I spent years fighting him in Smash, and now I'm going to spend years fighting him in Street Fighter. But he fits in the game. He works a lot better than I thought he would, and his combos are pretty cool. So I'm definitely glad he's in there. And I've been seeing, every single time I've looked on like my app on PlayStation, I've seen you on Street Fighter 6 every single time. Earlier on today, yesterday, day before, and day before. You are grinding, mate.
Yeah. It's just one of those things of every time I go to bed, I'll be lying there and I'll be like, oh, maybe I can do this route. Maybe I can start incorporating this. And I normally hate mirror matches, right? Because a mirror match with Ryu, you know, you're not really going to see, unless someone pulls something out like proper saucy, you're not really going to see anything different. But every single Terry I've played, they've all had slightly different things they've done really well. And I thought, oh, I'm going to incorporate this. Oh, I'm going to use this. And like, I think if it worked on me, like it beat me, definitely going to work on somebody else, especially when I was beating him in other areas. So I've just been like a little sponge lately, mate. I've just been sucking up all the little bits of tech and all the little trickery that this character has and just putting it in. One of my favorite things at the moment, you know, he does that EX move where like the fire goes all over. That into a drive rush overhead, dude. It hits just after the fire goes overhead. It's like, oh, I got blown apart by that earlier, and I was like, that's in the fucking mind. I was like, I'm fucking doing that. Did that to the next fucking Akuma player I played the next game. Got fucking wrecked. To give him the triple guys are after. Done, bro. I was like, yep, okay, that's a nice bit of tech. But yeah, really, really happy to see Terry's inclusion. Long may Street Fighter 6 remain the best fighting game on the PlayStation 5. Long may it remain. And with that, listeners, we shall end what we've been playing. Let's move it on to the quick news. Quick news.
Quick news, listeners and viewers. Welcome to Quick News. And today's episode is like no other. We are going to continue the current theme of going around in a circle, naming categories. And the rule of engagement of this episode is that we're going to go Davey to Spencer to myself, and we're going to name something from said category. So Davey, I think you're going to be first to nominate. Once we go round and we fail, if we hesitate, or if we say the wrong thing, there's a black mark against our name, and that will be put into the dock. And at the end of the episode, whoever's got the most marks against their name will get a shot in the dock. And I'm doing pretty well so far, aren't I, boys? I think over the last 10 episodes, I've only mounted one shot. So fingers crossed that continues today, and I make it through to episode 100 and X, and not having too many shots to drink, because episode 90 still haunts me. I was so wrecked. So I don't want to continue that, right? So let's try and do well. Okay, Davey, first one, set us off.
Okay, we're going to do guns that are featured in a game that can't be mentioned.
Do we need the exact name as well?
Yeah. I mean, you can go for, like, handgun, I guess. I'd accept that. But I'd also accept, like, Beretta. You know?
Okay. And I'm to start, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Magnum.
Revolver.
Grenade launcher.
Samurai Edge.
Rocket launcher.
Beretta.
Shotgun.
Handgun.
Sawn-off shotgun.
It's jammy, that one. SMG.
Good choice.
Flamethrower.
Fucker. You're absolute fucker. The V-Volt. The electric gun.
What's it called? The plasma cannon? What's it called? Is that what it's called?
I'd accept plasma cannon from number 3, yeah?
Yeah.
I think it's a railgun. But
Railgun is what it's called.
yeah, I'd accept it. I know what you meant.
Extended handgun.
Adding attachments on.
I mean, Spencer couldn't even name the railgun.
Yeah, go on. I'll let it. M4 machine gun.
Laser sight handgun.
It's ridiculous.
LMG.
Is there?
I don't think there is an LMG.
We might have to Google it then.
I'm going to say no on this. Are you saying no on this, Spence? I can't remember there ever being an LMG, ever.
I can't. All right. I will actually accept it. In 5
on the back,
of the truck. Yeah.
All right, fair. All right, harpoon gun.
Nice. The bow gun.
Oh,
Tommy gun.
Yes, the Chicago typewriter. That's a fucking excellent one. Crossbow.
Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Minigun.
That is the Gatling gun.
It is the Gatling gun.
Let's repeat then. I'll take the L on that then.
I'll say mine. Impressive, boys.
We went for a long time on that. Surprisingly long. I thought it would be
a few questionable ones in there.
Yes.
It was good.
But, we knew what we meant. I think we all looked after each other on that one, which was weird.
Nice.
That's very not like us. Let's see if that continues on for the rest of the show. Quick news. So I was talking all about fighting games, and I got some huge news. From Terry appearing in Street Fighter, it is now being confirmed that in upcoming game Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, 2, not 1, but 2 Street Fighter characters are coming to the roster of the game. They will be released as free DLC just after the game's launch, and that is, of course, Ken and Chun-Li. Guys, how are you feeling about this? Spence, you are, after I mentioned about Fatal Fury City of the Wolves before, you were very much like, oh my god, this game looks fucking amazing. Did you see this reveal?
I have seen this reveal, yeah. And I've only seen a few comments regarding this, and they weren't happy. There were people saying, 2 of the only 5 DLC slots of Street Fighter characters, what the fuck? But at the same time, I was just thinking, this is just a deal that's happened, because we're getting 2 Fatal Fury characters in Street Fighter. Why are people possibly kicking off? I thought it was daft. I think this is sick. But from what we've seen from the reveal, because I don't think we've seen gameplay of the characters yet, we've only seen the art, they look like they're in Street Fighter 6, and Fatal Fury isn't that art style. So I'm just a bit confused how they're going to look in the game, but I think it's a great addition.
I agree. That launch video was terrible because it was just old renders of the Street Fighter characters. I think you're right with the Chun-Li one, but I think the one of Ken Masters was from Street Fighter 4. I think they had just used random images that they had Googled off the web for their video, which was a bit of a letdown because I was expecting some big action. This is a huge deal for Fatal Fury to have 2 names from Street Fighter, which is, well, let's be honest, a bigger IP. And this game, we've been waiting a long, long time for it because it was first announced back at EVO in 2022, if you can remember that far back. And it's set to release April 2025. So that's quite a long cycle for a relatively small fighting game of 16 characters so far, and 2 of those are from Street Fighter. So I can understand the complaints from the community for the really hardcore Fatal Fury people, because they would be excited about seeing, you know, Andy Bogart and Billy Kane and, you know, Joe Higashi turning up. I don't even know these names. I'm just reading them out the doc, right? Who the hell are they? But for me, hearing about Ken Masters and Chun-Li coming into this game, it does raise the appeal slightly about this one. But am I in? Probably not.
For me, I remember seeing this coming out of TGS, and I just thought, what the hell? Like, it just completely blindsided me, because I was thinking, oh, wow, TGS, definitely going to get some cool Fatal Fury news. Can't wait to watch a little bit more. Like, everything I'm seeing, I'm really, really enjoying in terms of the combo system. Seems fucking nuts. So I'm thinking this is going to be really fun to get in the lab with, like one of those games like Power Rangers is. Like, what a fucking insanely good game to get in the lab with. Like, it's so good, so open-ended. And this looks kind of on the same line, but obviously like a really technical fighter. And I've never really played Fatal Fury games to any real standard anyway. So this was ticking all the boxes. To see this come back and to see like fucking Ken and Chun-Li, super hyped. Was I a bit gutted it wasn't my boy Ryu? Yeah. But to be fair, Ken definitely suits Fatal Fury more than Ryu does. Ryu's dry as shit. At least Ken's got sauce. And Ken is the best character in Street Fighter 6. So, you know, why not bring him over? Why would you bring over a mid-tier like Ryu? You know? Like, what's he going to do? Bore everyone to death. At least Ken's got that sauce, bro. So, I was really happy with this. And from the reactions I've seen, which are mostly just from YouTubers reacting to it, they've been popping off and going mental. And I was very much just like, I had to double take, you know? When I saw the news, I was thinking, fuck me, this is so wild. Like, what a world we live in now, where everyone's really happy to share their IP, you know? To see, like, Akuma in Tekken, and then to see fucking Terry in Street Fighter, and then now this, you know? It's like, what a great time that people are open to share their creations and share their beloved IP with each other, to be able to get, you know, to be able to see these characters that are renowned across the FGC, just in different engines with different fighting mechanics that would never work in their home series. So, yeah, really great news. And I can't wait to see more about this game. The more that comes out, I'm sure that we'll be talking about it on the show. But with that, Spence, let's move it over to yourself.
Okay, my category, I think we've done this a bit weird with the category thing. Usually it's whoever gets the category goes with the news. So we've kind of mixed it up this time. But my category for you, Mr. Hoy, I'm just going to borrow Davey's category. Weapons from The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2.
Oh, fuck, this be harder.
Jesus.
You don't need specific names. I think if we know what you're on about, you're fine.
Handgun.
Molotov cocktail.
It's a good one. A brick.
A bow.
A bottle.
A crossbow.
A shotgun.
A rifle, like a sniper rifle.
A semi-auto sniper rifle.
A.
He's gone.
A. No.
Could have
Fists,
said like
bro. Fists.
fists as well. Fist. At least knife.
Yeah.
A plank of wood.
I mean, we could have
love
got
the
knife with the game that can't be mentioned.
Could have, yeah.
Yeah,
No
we
one
could
went for
have.
knife last time, did they? No. Okay, nice. Keep that in mind. Well,
Right.
2-0.
That's the way it goes, my friend. I'm going to throw us back with this. You ready? Quick news. So, lads, we got a bit of PSVR 2 news. And this is 3 bits of news kind of stacked together. But it's all VR2, so I think we're just going to include it all as one. We'll go through them one at a time. So, the first bit of news Hitman World of Assassination, the new kind of PSVR 2 game that got revealed at the last State of Play. If you owned a game on PS5 already, you can upgrade to the PSVR 2 version for only $8.99 in pounds, $9.99, $9.99 in euros. I don't know how much this game costs to buy without owning the PS5 version. Might be worth looking at right now.
Let me hit a little throwback Google for you, my friend. I don't have a fucking clue. Nothing else to do. So that's all ask Google.
We've had a bit of a Google. From what I'm seeing, there actually isn't a confirmed price for the base, the all PSVR 2 version. But if you have the original game, only a £10 upgrade. What a fucking bargain. And that includes Hitman 1, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3. Everything in them. And it's all in PSVR 2.
Wow. Is that what it is? It's all the original games?
Well, all the remakes of them, yeah.
Fuck me, what a bargain that is. For 20 odd quid.
It's massive.
To buy just the game. What the fuck am I doing?
$22.96, then obviously it'll be £33 with PSVR 2.
What a fucking steal that is. I didn't know. I thought this was like, they did, they brought Hitman back and they had like those standalone levels. I thought it was like that kind of thing. It's not. It's oh my God. Dude, you just sold me immediately. I didn't realize that's what it was.
Yeah, absolute fucking bargain. Film it. You don't have a PSVR 2 yet, but now you've just seen how much of an absolute bargain this is and how much content's involved as it pulled you in. I'm going to ask you this for every bit of news we have.
Sounds good. I've got an answer for you. I've got it all pre-prepared. So we all love a cheap upgrade, don't we? And I had in my notes that it was a combination of Hitman 1, 84% on Metacritic, Hitman 2, 82% on Metacritic, and Hitman 3, 87 on Metacritic. So that was the best of the bunch, but all in VR. And this game wasn't a horrible MetaQuest port, because I heard that was absolutely terrible in the VR community, because they had their own version of Hitman came out on the MetaQuest, and that got absolutely destroyed within the community. So it's good to see they're bringing good games to VR. And I have all the Hitman games. I believe PS2. Yes, I have like a collection of all three. And I bought it out in the States and it's got like a cover and it's got all three games within one. And I remember, loving those games at the time, but I haven't revisited them since, unfortunately. But coming on to PS5, wow. Yeah, and if you guys are bringing around the PSVR 2 headset at some point, I think I'd be in to have a bit of a blast on that one.
Lovely. So basically just a great deal. Fantastic. On to the next bit of PSVR 2 news. Less happy news, let's say. Or maybe depending on how busy you are. So this is a quote from Skydance with their new game, Behemoth. They have said, "We just want to thank our amazing fans and community for your overwhelming support and feedback. We're striving to deliver the best AAA VR experience we can. So we've made the decision to push the launch of Skydance's Behemoth just a few weeks to December 5th, 2024. Now, Davey, you are super excited for this. Highly anticipated game for you. How do you feel about this news?
I was gutted when I saw it because I saw there was a delay, but then really, really pleased with the date that we have. December at the moment, nothing on. That's just COD season for me. So to know that I can just sit down, it's a perfect time of year to play VR. That's my introduction back. And I think the moment I put the headset back on, that's it then. I got so much to catch up on. Game that can't be mentioned 4 I got to play. I got so many games that we've had for free from Premium. This is my intro back in. So I was super gutted and then happy. It was like a weird, like really quick roller coaster by the time I read that, because it's only a short paragraph. So I was like, oh no, oh yay. Like immediately. So I've got it in my fantasy draft. So it's like one of my last things to come out this year. And I was thinking, please just don't be January. Because otherwise I'd have to go through and try and get rid of it and try and get something else in at this point. But as long as it stays this side of the year, I'm quite happy with this delay. So yeah, I'm in day one for this, 100%. Like, I can't fucking wait for this. I'm so excited for it.
Nice, mate. Nice. I won't ask you the same question, Phil, because this isn't much to do with new release, but I will ask you, just how do you feel about this news and games just continuing to get delayed?
Well, Spence, I've got a bit on this one, actually, because Skydance Behemoth, it's a game that I have been keeping a close eye on for two reasons, and Davey's alluded to one of them. It's in his Fantasy Critic, and we are head-to-head at the moment. We've just had a couple of scores that have come out, which could possibly determine the winner, but Davey's still got Skydance Behemoth, still there in the back pocket, releasing on December 5th, apparently. Hopefully it gets delayed even further. But guys, the real reason and it's not for selfish reasons, keeping an eye on Skydance Behemoth, it's the AAA VR experience. That's how it's sold, okay? That's what's coming out within the social, that's what's coming out within the media. This is meant to be a AAA VR experience. So yes, I am looking forward to seeing this. And yes, I would like to experience this game because I want to see what the best of VR is. If I'm going to buy a headset in the future, I think it will be these experiences which will tip me over the point where I go, actually, yeah, I do need one. And Skydance Behemoth definitely has that potential for me. But a quick question to throw back to you, Spence. How much can they actually do with a few weeks? We know how long games development takes, and it keeps on getting delayed and delayed. What are they going to do in a few weeks? Redo the cover? You know, like redo some of the content on the websites in a few weeks. They're not really going to do anything that's groundbreaking with the game, are they?
I can't imagine it's going to be anything big. What I imagine it will be is just a bit more QA, a bit more testing, a bit more bug fixes. That is all it is. Because we're living in a time currently where games just get released with a plethora of bugs. And it's just, we're used to it now. But games never used to be like that. And I think Final Fantasy did a similar thing where they just took a year where the game was done, but just spent a year fixing bugs instead of working on the traversal when they should have. So this is probably something like that, but to a smaller scale. It's a PSVR 2 title. They thought, let's not spend the fucking year on it, but let's just work on a few bug fixes and make sure it's polished when it releases. I'd imagine that's what it is.
We've had so many cases in the VR community. You know, I'm just going back to think of, what was that game where it's the on-rails scary kind of game that's done by the people who did Until Dawn and that, and the Quarry and all. Supermassive. And Supermassive Games did it. And it came out and it was fucked at launch. Like, it was completely fucked. All the VR communities that I'm in were just like, don't buy it. It's completely buggered. And they were like, yeah, sorry, we'll patch it in a few weeks. And it's just that thing of it just kills momentum, especially on something like a VR. If you don't have the frame rate right, or the fidelity isn't right, which is what the issue was on that game. I'm sorry that it's escaping my mind. Switchback VR, thank you, mate. Yeah, if the fidelity's fucked, that's it. Because that's what you're in there for. And it's not like you can't really get around that on a VR headset because you're in that world. If it looks like shit and it's unfocused and it's blurry, it's kind of unplayable at that point. So you kind of do need to put your best foot forward in VR, especially in this space, because it's so small and it's so hardcore. You can't expect just mum and dad to go and pick it up off the shelf. You know, it's going to be word of mouth that really drives forward the VR2 sales. And so you really just have to make sure you've done the very best you can.
Mate, a better example of that, Firewall Ultra launching, and you couldn't find a fucking game.
Yeah.
Even though there's countless people, well, I'll say countless, probably a few thousand people playing it, and matchmaking didn't work. Took 20 minutes to find a game, and when you do, it's half a lobby because it couldn't find the rest, and everyone's in different countries of the world because for some reason it skips over everyone nearby. It's bad. And then obviously our perception of Firewall Ultra now, we fucking hate it. Whereas it could be quite good now, but we're never going to go back and find out because they fucked it at launch.
Yeah.
But wasn't that word of mouth? Didn't you get recommended said game?
Yeah, it was. It was definitely a pre-hype thing, and you had a studio that you had all the right recipe for success. You know, published by PlayStation, a studio that had a really good hit on VR1. You got everything there to think this is gonna bang, and then you put it in your hands and you realize the gameplay is just not quite there, and then it doesn't work. You can't play it. It's an online only game with no online. So, you know, they had very little to get right. Like, the thing they had to get right was connectivity in an online game, and that wasn't there. Let alone the fact you can't even open a door without pushing a button. So, you know, it is what it is. What a fucking nightmare that is.
Yeah, horrific. Absolutely terrible. Let's just hope Behemoth doesn't follow suit, which I don't think it will. But yeah, positive hoping. The last bit of news we have for PSVR 2, Starship Troopers Continuum launches October 31st. Now, I've been told, and I think everyone's kind of thinking the same thing anyway, this is basically Helldivers in PSVR 2. Trailers have been out. I think you've seen the trailer, right, Davey? What are your thoughts on this?
Right, I'll just preface this straight away by saying I'm a huge Starship Troopers fan. Like, massive Starship Troopers fan. It's one of the reasons why I fell in love with Helldivers 1 so much, is because it was like playing... and Starship Troopers had loads of games in the past, but they were mostly on PC. And they were mostly like kind of top-down, kind of like strategy games, but they were still class. And so I thought, yeah, this is going to be... This is like a match made in heaven. Starship Troopers, VR, playing with the boys, class. This would be fantastic. Watch the trailer... Biggest fucking red flags I've ever seen in my life. It looks like shit. This to me, and saying this from someone who loves Starship Troopers, I'd avoid the fuck out of this. I think there is a reason why this wasn't shown at the State of Play. There's a big reason why. It looks like arse. The graphics are horrific on it. Like horrific. Like PS2 level. Trust me. This is putting up. I've been burnt in this VR space once before, and now my senses are attuned to it. This is going to be a fucking dud. I can feel it. And it pains me, because I even got my boy Johnny fucking Rico back to be able to do the advert. But no, this ain't it. This is a quick, fuck, Helldivers has done really well. Fuck, it spurred loads of interest in Starship Troopers. Let's get the Starship Troopers, let's get something cobbled together. That's what this feels like to me.
Understand exactly what you mean. Phil, mate, you've surprised me with your bits of knowledge of PSVR 2 today. Are you going to continue with that?
I've done my research, Spence. And one bit of research I did do on this game was to read the website to have a look how they are marketing it. I work in marketing. And the blurb that I've picked out, and I'll read it verbatim, this will make you laugh. Upgrades and the perk system leans into the original sci-fi film's mythology. Well, obviously, it's Starship Troopers IP. Like, that's not really a selling point, is it? Like, obviously you're going to lean into the stuff from the movie because that's what you're trying to sell me. You're stating the bloody obvious. And this was in quite a prominent position on the website. This was one of the big selling points. Wow, we got a, Helldivers VR game, Starship Troopers big IP, and we're going to take things from the movie and put them, do you know where? Into the game. Mind blown, guys. Mind blown. Cannot wait. But Starship Troopers, it's at an all-time high, isn't it? We're getting games out the absolute wazoo. We've only just had Starship Troopers Extermination on PC. I think it got about 70% in my notes on Metacritic, and that launched the 17th of May, and that's a 16-player co-op FPS. So that's Helldivers, but on a larger scale. I think if you want to get your Helldivers fixed, Davey, maybe you need to look onto PC and play Starship Troopers Extermination, because I'd be up for that if you're in.
I think for me, all I have to do is just boot up Helldivers. Like, why settle for the rest? Well, we could just boot it up and we just call each other just fucking, we're Rico's Roughnecks. Done. That's it. Just change my fucking name of my ship to the same one in the... I can't remember what the ship's called now. That'd be a fucking deep cut if I knew that. Starship Troopers lore. I don't remember that. But we can call each other fucking Rico's Roughnecks, and I can chuck an odd quote in here or there, and I could do that. And that would be enough for me to live out that fantasy, because that's exactly what Helldivers is.
Yeah. You're completely right, because that game, actually, it's only a 7 out of 10, so it'd be a lot of effort for us to all move over to PC to get that fix of Starship Troopers. Maybe let's just have a movie night and watch Starship Troopers and then play Helldivers. That'd be a good night, wouldn't it? Yeah,
that'd be a class
let's do that. There we go. We've organised 2 things tonight, boys. We're going to play D&D, and then we're going to have a Starship Troopers night and play some Helldivers. I love you guys.
Wonderful.
Class night, mate.
Brilliant.
But what about yourself, Spence? Did you have a chance to check out this absolute abomination of a trailer?
Well, yeah. Regretfully, we both got mentioned on Twitter by Lurian, fan of the show. Love you, mate. But don't send me more of this game, please. Because as Davey said, yeah, it doesn't look good. Phil said as well, doesn't look good. It's just, yeah, it does not look good. The big thing you said, Davey, which I completely agree with, it wasn't in the state of play. And instead, it's releasing sooner than the games that were in a state of play. Instead, it's just a blog post, which sometimes we've had times where games that were just on a blog rather than state of play have been good.
Yeah.
And it's surprised us. I don't think this is one of those times.
No.
I would be quite surprised. I'm not going to shit on it too much because the graphics look terrible, but graphics don't make everything.
True.
But I'm not hopeful. I'm going to wait for a review, and then if it's good, I'm not going to buy it. It's just what's going to happen. I'm not buying it, and I got Helldivers 2. It's like, Mum, can I play Helldivers 2? We got Helldivers 2 at home. I'm not doing it. No one wants to do it. Helldivers 2 is just going to be better. So fuck it off.
Let's have a prediction for the Metacritic score.
You reckon?
Put a shot on it.
Shot on it? All right.
Yeah. Whoever's closest doesn't get a shot. The other two do get a shot. Because we need to ramp up these shots. I've only got one so far. I'm losing this round of quick news on purpose.
All right.
Okay.
I reckon.
Phil, your suggestion. Wait. Phil, your suggestion. Lead the way.
Oh, you smart fucker.
Oh. Okay. I like your style. All right. I think it's going to be lowish. But I'm thinking that big sell on the website is going to push it some. It's got the IP that a lot of people are pro on at the moment. You know, people are still hype on the whole Helldivers thing. So I'm going to go for a rough 60. Nah, actually, that's too high. 58% on Metacritic. That's right. 58.
Wow, that's low.
It's well, the game looks like trash, bro.
Yeah, it does.
Go higher.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to. I tell you what, Davey, you're always like the middleman, so you never get to go last on these kind of things, so I'll go next. I think the issue is, I think if this was prior to Helldivers 2, people wouldn't have something to compare it to, especially something brilliant. Now they do. I'm going to go with... I had a figure in my head. I'm going to stand by it. 69.
Oh, wow, that's high.
69 is good.
69, dudes.
That's what I'm going to go with, yeah. I think that's... I think it's not going to be great, but it's just going to be not terrible. And I think that's what it's roughly going to get.
See, I was originally thinking, before Phil said it, 57 was what I was thinking of. You went 58.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I did. Honestly, if you'd gone to me first, I would have said 57. I swear to God. I swear on my mum's life. I swear that's exactly what I was going to go with. But now I kind of want to play the game and be in the middle of both of you. So I might go 59. Just because then I'm really fucking close. But my heart's telling me, yeah, I'm playing it. Fuck it, I'm playing the fucking game, boys. I'm going to go 60. I'm going to go 60.
I
Get
hope
in the
it's
dock
lower
so we
now.
remember.
Yeah,
All
for that reasoning, I hope it's lower. I hope you win this one. You or me, at least.
I need some more shots, to be fair. I've only got one, so let's hope.
Yeah. When we find out, we'll just lie about it, mate. We'll give you the shot. It's fine.
I'll help you out on some of yours, Spence. You got too many.
Beautiful. All right, that is it for our PSVR 2 corner. A little bit of news. So round 2. Oh well, actually no. Phil, you'll be giving Davey a thing now, won't you?
Yeah, quick news. And Davey, my category of tonight, my first one of 2, I'm going to go brands of cars.
Toyota.
Bugatti.
Audi.
Ferrari.
Ford.
Mazda.
Kia.
Vauxhall.
Chrysler.
Citroen.
What was that? Can I get it again?
It was a Citroen, thank you. Citroen.
Was it?
Okay.
Are we continuing?
Sure.
All right. Lambo.
Aston Martin.
Morgan.
Tesla.
Cadillac.
Polestar.
You know, Mustang.
BMW.
Whoa, I'm out. Way too late. Did anyone say Fiat?
I don't think so.
We'll
Mate,
have to
didn't you
review the
work at like a
tapes.
car insurance thing for years?
Yeah. I didn't pay any attention, mate. Just focus on the customer, baby.
Christ. Quick news. Let's move this on. Now, guys, I've got some quick news for you, and this relates to a little bit of retro. We've got some news about Time Crisis. You never thought I'd be talking about Time Crisis in 2024, but apparently it's coming to the modern TV thanks to a plug-and-play AI, get this, AI light gun. The most iconic light gun game of all time is going to come to modern TVs, guys. I know back in the day, we used to play on the PS1 with the G-Con, but that needs a CRTV. And without it, you won't be able to play these games. So they're lost to the past. But now, a company called Gamey, they've got the plug-and-play device that comes preloaded with Time Crisis and utilizes, as I said, an AI light gun that is compatible with modern-day flat-screen televisions. It costs $89.99 for the base edition, and that's the main unit plus the gun controller, or they have a special edition or a deluxe edition for $120, and that includes a pedal and, get this, some bonus items.
Whoa.
Now, guys, throwing it over to yourselves, are you as excited about Time Crisis having a potential rerun on modern consoles thanks to this AI-powered device? Davey, I'm going to come over to yourself first.
100% I am. The thing that sold me, I looked at it and I thought, oh, this is interesting. Like, I like the look of this, just in general. Because, I mean, I love, like, kind of light gunny games anyway. And big fan of them on the PS3 with the Move controller. They were fucking amazing. And the closest thing we got to it these days is VR, I guess. And here we are with this news. Read it through, thought this seems cool. Wasn't sold until I saw the pedal. And I was like,
Pedal's
yep,
cool, right?
You've got to have a pedal for Time Crisis. Like, you have to. That's only half the game otherwise. That's half the experience. So seeing that I had the pedal was the selling factor for me. I think this is a fantastic idea. And all it takes is getting it out there, getting enough things out there, and fuck knows who... They might then sell some other like classic games. Maybe get some like House of the Dead or get something like that in there.
Yeah, and that'd be incredible.
Yeah, it just really starts opening up. So I was super impressed by this. Really, really, really happy about it.
I've got all the original Point Blank games.
Oh yeah,
now they were fun. They were just
class.
Quick action light gun games, perfect for a night in drinking. We need to get hold of one of these. I know I've got a CRT. La-di-la-di-la, but I've only got a small CRT. Imagine it on the 65-inch downstairs. That'd be an incredible night, wouldn't it? But it's on the costy side, isn't it? $89 to get in on the base edition, and if you want that pedal, $120 to fork out, and you're going to need two. So you're going to have to absolutely love Time Crisis and these genre of games to buy into this sort of ecosystem. But Spence, are you as excited as Davey and myself when it comes to light gun games?
Mate, I'm extremely excited, and I'm actually on the opposite side from you. I think the price is beautiful. I think that's a lot cheaper than I anticipated it being, especially with a pedal. Only $120, so what, 110, 100 for us? Bargain. Do you know how easy it would be to turn that into a cabinet? If you just get like an old, big TV, put it into like some wood, and stick these on there. Cheap as hell to just put that in your shed and put some paint or some art on it. Beautiful, and I guarantee that little box is just an emulator that you could just chuck ROMs on. So you could 100% download arcade versions of House of the Dead, Time Crisis 2, 3, 4, whatever you want. And I think it'd be bloody brilliant and save you a lot of change when you go into the arcade. Granted, who does? But whenever you go anywhere, if there's a Time Crisis there, you're going to play it. And if you've got this in your gaff, there's no need. I think that's class. And that price with the pedal, way, way cheaper than I thought. But your point, you need two. That is quite a big kind of issue, I think, which does bump the price a lot. But I think that's brilliant. And I'd love to see more stuff like this.
I've got memories of Time Crisis with the G-Con, because if you didn't have a pedal, and I don't believe in the first edition you had access to a pedal, you would have the red button on the side. And I think the red button on the side was you moving off the screen to sort of reload. And I remember as a child moving myself
Yeah, yeah.
And kind of expecting it to work. I don't know how I thought it would work, but like you get so into those light gun games where you're actually just moving around. I expect that's what VR is for you guys these days. But I was there back on PlayStation 1. I was there in Time Crisis with those G-Con games. I loved them. So this is a welcome addition, and let's see what happens in the future. But I might put my order in for this one. I might. I'm going to. It's sold.
Well done, mate. Well done. One of the only games I had that was a light gun game back in the day on PS1 was I had Die Hard Trilogy. Did you ever own that? And
yes,
you had Die Hard 2 was like a light gun game because it was like 3 separate games in one. So the first one was like a kind of platformer almost. We just go around shooting everyone in Die Hard 1 and Nakatomi, and then the second was a light gun game. And so I bought a light gun for that, and then that was it. Then I was playing all light gun games. Fucking great times, man.
My brother had a third-party light gun, which had a rumble feature.
Oh, wow.
I remember it being super expensive, and it was like a proper, M5, rifle that he was using for the TV. It was, pointless, right? It was, over-manufactured. And you'd press it, and there was no, it was basically on and off. So as soon as you put the switch on, it's like da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It didn't ever match. It didn't even match what was coming out. At the Time Crisis, you'd press 6 shots or whatever it was, and this gun would just keep going like this. But yeah, great times.
Oh man, need more of this shit, dude. Definitely need some more of this.
Jank shit. That's what we need.
100%. Oh Christ. So it's back round to my category, isn't it?
Correct.
All right. So we were doing weapons in different things. That's come up a couple of times now. So let's do weapons in Doom.
I knew you'd say Doom. I knew you would. I haven't played it, mate. I knew you'd say Doom. I was thinking, as you said it, and I went, don't say Doom, don't say Doom, don't say Doom. Fuck's sake. BFG.
Shotgun.
Super shotgun.
Minigun.
Handgun.
Rocket launcher.
Machine gun.
Vac gun.
Sword.
Like a big hammer. Do you get one of those?
Not in any Dooms I've played, my friend.
I played it. I knew you'd say Doom, bro. Fuck's sake.
Did you get a vac gun in the newer Dooms? Because the vac gun was one of the OG guns.
I can't remember there being a vac gun not in these last two Doom games anyway. But
yeah.
But then again,
I remember it looked like a vacuum cleaner that shot electricity. That's what I've got in my mind when I'm thinking what a vac gun was, because that was always part of the scenery in the original Dooms. There was always vac kind of advertising around, and you'd have this vac gun. Do you remember that? No, probably not.
No, I
age now.
Do you know, this is the problem, is that they did a re-release, didn't they, of Doom 1, 2, and 3 and classic collection and stuff. And I've been thinking, I can't wait to go back and play those and earn the platties and stuff, and just never have. So I haven't played them for a long time, and I've never played. And this is a proper gaming confession right here. I've never played Doom 3.
Really?
Yeah,
that's full of jump scares. You'd like that.
Yeah, I fancied it when it came out on PC originally. My PC couldn't run it, like my parents' home PC. It was pretty high end, and so I was thinking, I'll get to it one day, and just never have. And it's had a remake and everything, and I still haven't played it. So that's something to tick off on my gaming dirty backlog at some point. But Spencer, you should be ashamed of yourself for not playing the latest 2 Dooms. They're fucking incredible.
I've said I would at some point, but we just keep getting more and more games. It's so hard. We all have backlogs. Come on.
We do. Sort it out, mate. Great game. Quick news. So we had some proper shock news, actually, just came out today. We literally were about to sit down to record, and then I got notified of this on Facebook. And this is in celebration of the 10th anniversary of Alien Isolation. There was a message from the creative director, Al Hope, and I'll read this out verbatim, all right? I'll just zoom in on this because I can't fucking read it, save my life. Very fucking small, this. Right, here we go. It's hard to believe it's been 10 years since we embarked on our journey with the release of Alien Isolation. When we started developing Alien Isolation, we had one guiding principle: to create a truly authentic experience that went back to its roots of the Alien franchise. A new story capturing the atmosphere and terror of the original 1979 movie masterpiece. It's been nothing short of incredible to witness your passion for the game over the years and see it reach so many players around the world. Your boundless enthusiasm, excitement, screams, and steely courage in the face of cinema's greatest killer have been profoundly rewarding. Whether you're a Nightmare Mode veteran or stepping into Amanda Ripley's shoes for that thrilling first attempt, good luck. We wanted to express our deep gratitude. It was a dream project brought to life by a brilliant team, and the reception you have given it over the years is extraordinary. On the 10th anniversary, it seems only fitting to let you know that we have heard your distress calls loud and clear. Today, I'm delighted to confirm on behalf of the team that a sequel to Alien Isolation is in early development. We look forward to sharing more details with you when we're ready. Once again, thank you. No, thank you, Al. What fantastic news this is to see Alien Isolation come back for a second run. And to see what they're going to do for the second one. I don't know what it could involve. And this is another gaming confession. I haven't played Alien Isolation yet. And do you know the reason why? I've been too fucking scared to play it. I've been too scared, man. I've seen so many things about it, and I've watched a doco on how advanced the AI is for this alien, and how it learns from you and learns your behavior, so it won't fall for the same tricks twice. I'm a fucking one-trick pony in a game. I'll figure out what works, and that's me for the game. If it learns from me, I'm fucked. This thing's already got every advantage over me possible. And I'm not really one of these fans of, playing games where I'm useless, right? I can't really combat it. I don't really like them. They just kind of terrify me a bit too much. So this has been, a big, no-no for me. And it's something that I've always said to myself, I'm going to go and do it at some point. And I might, stream it or something, make some kind of content out of it to make it a little bit more engaging. And to be honest, it probably won't be as scary when I got studio lights on and stuff like that. But the idea that this comes back for a second run gets my dick hard, because I can only imagine what kind of nonsense they're going to be able to put out the bag now. That first game is so scary, and for them to think, oh, we got to go in and we're going to try and up what we did before, just seems like a Herculean task, and I'm all for seeing it. So really happy for the fans out there that have championed this game for the last 10 years. And one day, I'm sure I'll be able to join you, but that day is not today. Now, Phil, you're a bit of an Alien fan. You do like the franchise. Are you excited by this news?
Yeah, I like Aliens. I've seen some of the movies. I won't claim to see all of the movies, but I've seen a fair few of the Alien movies. I do like the franchise. I'm yet to see the newest one. Was it Alien Romulus? I think I'm going to keep that for my flight over to the States in December. But this one is welcome news, because Alien Isolation, even though I haven't played it, it's iconic. And you're right, it looks very, very scary. I don't know if that's the reason I haven't played it. I tend not to get too freaked out by games. I think it's more that I have too many options when it comes to games, because I have a PC and I have, a lot of PlayStation games, a lot of disposable income these days. So I've just got too many options. I need to narrow that down. But Alien Isolation, if that's coming back and we get a date now for Alien Isolation, I think we should go back and we should put a pack together, us three boys, because we're all big Alien fans. We should go and play the original and compare stories of how we combat said aliens. This game, it's iconic, and I'd like to revisit it. I really would.
Maybe a spoiler cast from the past that potentially would never happen. But who knows? We're in episode 100 now, new run. Maybe we bring it back. And Spence, how would you feel about going into pure nightmare fuel itself?
I'd fucking hate it, mate. I absolutely hate it. You boys making this a spoiler cast from the past, I would be livid. This game isn't for me. I don't play the Outlaws. I don't play this. Nah.
What we should do with spoiler casting in the past, and let me pitch this to you guys. We should make it part of the show when we don't have a topic, for example, and just mold it into something like a half an hour slot, rather than like a full game spoiler cast. We could just pick out a couple of highlights each that we want to talk about, and then it gives us an end to a show which we might struggle with from time to time.
It's not a bad idea to have it in the back pocket. Not a bad idea. I think the big thing is, though, when you get excited about a game, we want to talk about it. You know, like
some deserve a full whack, yes, but some games we could just nail in half an hour.
Very true. I suppose we'll it's a nice one to little put on the back pocket. Or what we could do is we could set up another date and we could play it as a trio.
I'd rather that. Yeah, that'd be okay. I'd happily watch one of you play it. I don't want to play it myself.
Because I think that would still be pretty fucking scary. We could put all the lights down low and just be proper in the zone. No one's fucking chatting. We're just experiencing it together. That would be fucking scary as shit. Swap over every death or something. And that would be terrifying. So maybe, there you go. That's another little bit of content idea for us at some point. Maybe we could live stream that. Who knows? Stay tuned, audience. Check us out on Twitter. Spence, passing it over to yourself, right?
Yeah.
So, we just did...
It's mine.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, we've done it slightly different. The introduction was a bit all over the place. So, Spence, just carry on.
All good. I'm trying to think of a game to fuck Davey now, because he fucked me with Doom. But I don't know what I could do.
Most PC games, although you never played Doom.
All I think is League of Legends. But we've done League of Legends, so I'm not doing that.
Items?
Let's just go with... I had one in my head, but it's just not gaming oriented.
It doesn't have to be gaming oriented.
Exactly, here we go. My category for you, Mr. Hoy. Famous authors.
Roald Dahl.
J.K. Rowling.
Anthony Burgess.
God.
I don't think
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
I don't read a lot of books, I'll have to be honest.
He's out.
Damn.
William Shakespeare, bro?
He didn't write books.
I understand who he is, yeah, but like I don't read a lot of books. I haven't read any of his books.
What am I, gay? I don't fucking read.
I don't read. Am I a nerd?
I can't even finish video games, let alone books.
What do I read? I'm busy playing Warhammer.
Yeah,
I wish.
Nerd.
God, I wish.
I was trying to fuck David there, but sorry, Phil.
Yeah, not many books on my... Well, there is a few books on my shelf. I should just look behind.
There's loads of books on your shelf, mate. So many.
The Hideo Kojima books, bro.
Most of them are League books.
Well, someone's written them.
I guess they have, yeah.
All right. Quick news. So we have a bit of news for a second sequel following that little bit of Aliens news. Another horror sequel. Until Dawn 2 is in development at Sony's Firesprite Studio. Now, the thing is, that's two bits of news there. One, we're getting a brand new game or a sequel to a fantastic cinematic experience that we had on the launch of PS4. Different developer. How do we feel about this? Davey, I know you adore Until Dawn. You love it, and you've played it shitloads of times. How do you feel about this news?
Weird about it, to be honest. Like, very strange about it. I think there's certain games that should just be a one and done. And Until Dawn is that. I don't really know why they're doing this, to be honest. Unless they're going down the same line that Supermassive have. And it's just that Until Dawn is the franchise. And then they're all separate stories. And I can kind of imagine that's what it's going to be, right? But when I hear Until Dawn, I can't not think of the characters and the big twist that happens in Until Dawn, which obviously I'm not going to spoil. The remake's only just fucking come out for those that were just getting to it for the first ever time. So I can't help but think they're going to revisit this world, but I kind of hope they don't, because the Until Dawn it just wraps up so well that I don't want to go back there. But I do like the idea that they're using Until Dawn as a franchise name, and they're exploring other areas of, say, like mythological horror. Instead of it being what happens across Until Dawn, that they maybe focus on a different killer or a different kind of environment, right? And they go that way with it. The one good thing about this is that Firesprite are a good studio. So I don't think we got too much to worry about here. Now, I know Firesprite most for Horizon VR, and that's what I know them for in recent years anyway. So I'll be excited to see what they can do in this space. And it seems like Sony have kind of abandoned, for a better word, the studios before that used to make these kind of experiences and these kind of like pick your own adventure style games. Like before they had that French studio, God, I can't remember what they're called now off the top of my head, who did like Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain and all those. I can't remember that team.
But Quantic Dream,
thank you, my friend. They were very much like in PlayStation wheelhouse without being bought, but they worked alongside them, and they kind of like distanced themselves from them now ever since Detroit Become Human. And so there is there is a void from the first party that could be filled in this environment. I just don't know what the plan is, and it doesn't really get me excited. It kind of gets me a little bit trepidatious, and I'm not really sure why that is. But I don't know if you're agreeing with me on this one, Phil, or not.
Well, I've read this article pretty closely, and I'm going a different way to you guys because I don't really feel like this is confirmed in any way. What is actually said within the article is that Fire Sprite Studios is developing a dark narrative-driven game with all signs pointing to the horror genre. And people have speculated that this game could be Until Dawn 2. Now, I understand that where you're going with this, Fire Sprite possibly could take over and run with that IP and see where they take it. But I don't think there's anything that I saw that really said, yes, this is definitely happening. I think people are just jumping maybe to early conclusions with it because Supermassive's cult classic 2015 Until Dawn was a big game. It was a 72% over on Metacritic. Now that we've had that remake, I think people are hungry to see more from that universe, and I think having a studio like Fire Sprite to jump on and, as I said, carry that mantle a little bit further might be a welcome addition to that area of gaming. But I don't think it's confirmed just yet, so I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, no, thank you for pumping the brakes, because it is very much, you are right, the article itself is very much, it leads people to believe it's this. So yeah, very important clarification there, my friend. Really well done.
Yeah, for me, I think it's all speculatory. There's nothing confirmed, obviously. I would like to think, like you were saying, Davey, rather than a sequel, it's more of an anthology thing, if it is Until Dawn. What I would gather from it is it's just a spin-off of the game. Similar to Call of the Mountain being a spin-off to the Horizon franchise. It could be a VR spin-off. That could be all it is, which is basically what I've been asking for, is that I'd like to see spin-offs of our mainline games, like A Last of Us, VR spin-off, or something along those lines. It's basically exactly what I want. So if this is happening, and it is tied to Until Dawn, brilliant. If it's not tied to Until Dawn, even so, I trust Fire Sprite. I think it'd be great, and I'd love for it to be another VR title.
It's a really, really good point. And we haven't got anything from the first party for VR for a while, outside of like modes, right? So it would be a big deal if they came out and did announce a VR project this late into it. It would be a head turner. So I suppose we'll wait and see until we get a bit more information.
And moving on to myself, my final category of tonight is going to be brands of PCs. Seeing as Davey's such a fan of the PC space, let's see where you go on this one. Brands of PC, and it can be brands of anything to do with PCs. So it could be the brand of your RAM, it could be the brand of your CPU, GPU, PSU, it could be any of said acronyms. So brands of PCs, please.
Alienware.
You said that, so you weren't sure if that's what it was, were you? That's class. He's done, by the way. AMD.
Corsair.
Windows. Microsoft.
We'll take that. Intel.
HP.
Logitech.
I suppose. Nvidia.
MSI.
That's Tom.
I got nothing, boys. I got nothing.
That's a great one, Phil. I love that one.
Brilliant. Well, you wanted something to fuck Davey, and anything to do with PCs generally will fuck Davey. You have a PC in front of you. Doesn't it have like a bunch of stickers on the side that you could just read off?
Yeah, Acer.
Intel.
Yeah, you said them all. You said them all. I was like,
oh, did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move this on. Let's save your embarrassment. Quick news. And guys, I want to talk about Death Stranding 2. Now, the release date won't be revealed until some point next year. So I've been watching TGS, the Tokyo Game Show, and that aired on the 26th to the 29th, the big convention over in Tokyo, where all the producers go over there and show their wares. And Kojima Productions was there in force, and they did a special presentation of Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Now, this was on YouTube. It was an hour and a half, and it was all in Japanese, and I understood every single word. So let me translate some of the things that happened within that hour and a half for the people that, can't speak Japanese. We obviously all should be able to do that, but some people can't in this world. So let me be your eyes, let me be your hands, and let me show you what Kojima gave to us. Now, we got appearances during the show. We got a bunch of actors, voice actors from both the Japanese and rest of world cast. We got NWR on stage, and boy, God, he's a weird man, and he plays Hartman, for those who don't know. We got Acronym himself, Errolson Hughes, who demoed the new Death Stranding 2 jacket, which I sadly missed out on. It was quite an expensive jacket, and they released it at 2 a.m. in the morning, GMT. And it all sold out within seconds. So if you see one of those jackets, pick it up because they're very, very sought after. But it will, of course, appear within Death Stranding 2. And the big part of this show, it was a little bit of back and forth, and obviously Kojima was on stage doing all these weird mystical things. We got to see 4 trailers. And the first trailer we got introductions from Dolman and Tarman. In part 2, we got to see introductions from Tomorrow and Rainey. They were member introductions, and they were both wearing the Death Stranding jackets. We got part 3, which reintroduced Hartman. He's going to be in Death Stranding 2. That confirmed it, and he's got a stand-up suit, so when he falls over, for whatever reason that he falls over, he stands up, which is very, very cool. And we got part 4, which is the first look at the photo mode, which is a little bit spooky if you watch it. It feels a little bit off, but yeah, interesting. Very, very, very cool. And we got to see Fragile, Tomorrow, and Rainey all just playing about, being girls in front of the camera. And it was very, very cool. I really, really enjoyed the presentation, the way they showed it, the pacing and everything that went into it. But the thing about it, guys, since we're talking about 2025, unfortunately, we're not going to get a confirmed date from Kojima because for unseen circumstances, so he wasn't giving anything away and he wasn't telling us why, but he's going to be announcing it sometime next year. So ultimately, from that show, the hour and a half, we got 4 trailers of introductions of new characters, which I was absolutely stoked about. Now, I don't know if you guys had a chance to see anything from TGS or any of the Death Stranding stuff, but does any of this information that I've gone through interest you? Spence, I'm going to come over to yourself first.
Sure, mate. So it definitely interests me. I'm definitely excited about Death Stranding 2. I still think it's a terrible title on the beach, but I'm very excited for the game itself. I saw little snippets. So I saw a part of one of the trailers, and I've seen loads of clips of that photo mode. And that photo mode looks mental. Those characters, you can just make them do whatever. They're all there like dancing on top of a car and stuff. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's more like a video mode than a photo mode. It's mental, but it looks very cool, and it looks like Kojima's wheelhouse. He loves making stuff just a bit more than it needs to be, doesn't he? But I will say, I think his whole thing of, I'll save it for sometime next year, I think that's just him wanting to announce his shit with Jeff Keighley. He's just like, that's where I'm going to be announcing it. Let's be honest. You're not going to find anything big out anywhere else. It's going to be Summer Game Show or the Game Awards because Jeff Keighley's my boy. You know?
Well, it can't be the Game Awards because the Game Awards is this year.
Well, it could be next year's Game Awards. Happens every year, mate.
But we believe it should be released in 2025.
Dude. Oh, yeah.
So that would be a short announcement to release, wouldn't it? If it was straight after the Game Awards, unless he says it's live now. But you're right. I think he is saving it for a bigger show. And that photo mode, as you've said, it looks hyper realistic, but it just feels a little off. And the kind of fact that you can basically make them do anything kind of has that area of perversion, which unfortunately this might fall into, but we'll see how they handle that. Now, Davey, how are you feeling about some of these trailers? Have you had a chance to see any of them?
Well, I'm trying, as much as I am failing, I'm trying to go media dark on this, on Death Stranding 2. Like, I really am. Like, I know that you obsess over this game, but I was right there with you on Death Stranding's release. Like, it was so fucking good. One of the best games on PS4, hands down. Like, a stellar experience that just stays with you forever. I'm sold from the moment it was announced. I do not want to see anything. I just don't. And it'd be the same way that if we got, blessed be his name, Solid Snake Return in, like, say, Metal Gear Solid 1, I don't want to see fuck. Like, I don't want to see anything. So I'm trying to avoid it. The only things that I've seen bits of that I've been unable to avoid have been either when we've watched, like, a state of play or anything like that and it comes up, or when I'm scrolling through Twitter and I've been seeing the fucking photo mode. And I've been seeing those videos as well. I tell you what it reminds me of, Phil, and this will mean something to you. Do you remember in Metal Gear Solid 4 when you're fighting the Beauty and the Beast unit, and they're like rip-offs of like Foxhound members, really, aren't they? And what can happen is if you trank them and you beat them in a way that they don't, you don't kill them, they then do a sexy photo shoot for you. And you can you could take pictures of them, and they'll like be crawling along the floor, like looking all sexy and stuff. It reminded me of that.
There's always that weird era of perversion within games. Isn't there a point where one of the characters bends over? Isn't there in the jail in Metal Gear Solid 1? And you can like look up her skirt or something?
Well,
and then when you open one of the lockers, there's like sexy pictures in some of the lockers and things in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yes, and you could put pull magazines down for the guards to look at in Metal Gear Solid 2, and Quiet in Metal Gear Solid 5 is just pure sexiness, and the longer you just stare at her in the helicopter, she'll then like put her cleavage together and stuff like this, and like lean over into your face and stuff like that. He's full of it, Kojima. Kojima's like, I'm gonna make sexy birds, and they're gonna do perverted shit in the right circumstances. And this just reminded me of that. I was like, yeah, this is Kojima, all right. But I'm trying. I'm not going to be able to add too much to this discussion because I'm really trying not to see anything on it.
I don't understand why you need to do that with Kojima games. I've watched them all. I haven't got a clue what's going on. I just understand there's a few more characters, and I understand that kind of their names. I haven't got a clue what's going on with that doll man. He's an incredible little character. Like, when he came through and they introduced his name, I was like, obviously that's his name. Everyone was like, who's that character? He's so cute. Like, everyone wanted to know about him when we first got the sort of announcement of Death Stranding 2. And I think it appeared in one of our thumbnails. I think it sat on my shoulder in one of the pictures. And we're like, oh, I wonder what his name's going to be. Obviously, it's Doll Man, isn't it? They're all something man. It's obvious stuff, right? Kojima just goes for the obvious when he's naming all his characters. But it's incredible. I can't get enough of it. But as I said, you don't need to avoid any of this stuff because it doesn't spoil anything. Because none of it makes any sense.
Oh, cool. All right, then. Well, that's a bit of a relief. I might go back. I heard it was like a 30-minute presentation or whatever, and I thought, 30 minutes? I don't know if I want to sit through...
It was an hour and a half.
Hour and a half? And you don't know anything?
all in Japanese.
Yeah.
That's how much I love this game. That's how much I love Death Stranding. I sat through an hour and a half, and I watched it all in Japanese, and I understood some bits. Not too much, I will admit. But the trailers, they were epic. And there was actually one of the characters did like a music video, and he got a bunch of dolmens to kind of like dance around him. There's some really weird shit within it. It was really in depth, and there was lots of really nice moments with each of the characters. And as I said, if you're going to watch one part of it outside the trailers, just watch the introduction with Nicholas Renef. I don't know how you say his name. NWR, he always calls himself on Twitter. He is just batshit crazy, that guy. Like, right, if you think like Kojima just gets attracted to weird shit, he's weird shit.
I tell you what, now you told me and you've kind of allayed my fears here that I'd come out of this and know too much. I might sit down and watch it. I might just watch it and just at least then, I can kind of satiate the itch that's there without then ruining the experience for myself. It'd be one of those kind of moments, I think. But I completely agree with what Spence is saying. This release date's getting announced at the Game Awards. Like, if it doesn't, I'll be amazed. Like, he's just fucking lied. Like, he's not going to be like, oh, yeah.
There's Kojima in it.
I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest.
Yeah, he's not going to be like, oh, yeah, see you at Jeff's, is he? He's just going to fucking say whatever, right? So that people don't expect it. So it's a big surprise. So he'll come out And then he'd be like, so Hideo, what are you going to tell us today? And he's like, oh, Death Stranding 2, release date. Out now. Fuck. Fuck me.
No, you've done it again, Kojima. With those cryptic clues. You said it wasn't going to happen, and now it happened.
And now it's out. Now it was out 2 weeks ago and nobody knew. What the hell, Kojima? It's installed on all our PS5s already.
It's been there all along. It's been there for 4 years. Astrobot wasn't really the free game you got. It was Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, nobody did like an up, down, down, left, right, start, all these combinations to be able to unlock the game. It's like, finally, enjoy my masterpiece. It's like, oh my God, thanks, Kojima.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, man's just lying, bro. He's just lying. We'll see it before end of year, 100%, guaranteed.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I need it now. It's like crack.
And speaking of crack, you're going to be hitting the pipe a little bit on this, Phil, because you've had a fucking nightmare of a time. So our scores, to round out quick news today, Spence sitting on the clean slate of 0, so no shots for you.
I've heard that takes a shot off, right?
No, unfortunately not. Oh, no.
Do not be silly.
Me, I come in with a whopping score of 2 on this, and Phil, you've unfortunately ended on 3. So that is 1 shot extra to the dock, taking your total up to 2. So I think you're fine.
It's a welcome addition, yes. I'm good.
And with that, we shall move on to the final piece of the show. Rumour Has It.
Kick it! You wake up with a rumor and you don't want to go. You ask if it's confirmed and they still say no.
Rumour has it, ladies and gentlemen, that we have 2 separate rumours for you. And the first, coming out straight hot from Korea, is the Games Rating and Administration Committee has rated Siren by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Now, Siren, for those that may not know, if you're like a newer person to the PlayStation ecosystem, Siren is a horror game. I wouldn't even say survival horror. Kind of is. I suppose you could probably make the argument that it's a survival horror game, whereby you are a normal person. People in this village, generally a village, could be a town, have been kind of infected with this bloodlust craziness. And so they're going around trying to kill everyone they see on sight. And you have the ability to sight jack into them. So what can happen is you'll be sitting there in like a bush, shitting your pants because you can just hear someone around you. You can then sight jack into them and you can view from their point of view. So it goes first person into their eyes and you can see where they're going and their patrol routes. And you can use that to sneak around them to get like around obstacles or to find clues around the environment or to find key items that you need. You can engage in combat and there is limited ammo. But generally the idea is you avoid the enemies at all costs. A game that hasn't been back around the block on PlayStation since PlayStation 3, if my memory serves, where there was a episodic release of Siren for, I can't remember how many they did, it was quite a few, and it was right at the start of the PS3's life cycle, and it's not been seen since. I think it came back for like a remake or something, or remaster, a number of years back, and that's about it. Now, this is a rumour, even though it's been rated there, it's only been rated in Korea, and this is what it says. So this is from Gamatsu directly on Twitter. It says, the Game Rating and Administration Committee of Korea rated Siren by Sony Interactive Entertainment today. According to its description, it's a horror adventure game set in Haneda Village, Japan. The title and description suggest this is the original Siren. What we don't know is this just the emulated PS2 game, or is it something else like a remake? Ooh. What are you guys' thoughts about this? Spence, I'm going to come to you first. And the question I want to ask you before I get your thoughts, have you ever heard or played of Siren before?
I think I watched someone play it years ago. Those YouTubers that I used to watch that I've mentioned on the show before, Best Friends Play, they used to do shit storms, they were called. So in the month of October, they would upload a different horror game video every day. It'd be a different horror game. And the videos, they were quite lazy with them. So if they hated the video game, it'd be like a 20-minute video. But if they loved it, they would just play as much of it as they could that night and upload the whole thing. It was brilliant. I loved watching those. And I think they played at least a Siren game, but I can't remember ever seeing it. I know the name Siren rings a bell in my head, so I might just have heard of it somewhere. But I think that's where I'd imagine I would know it from. But I've never played it. Can't remember what it's like. What you said, where you just hijack into someone's mind and you have to figure out where they are around you from that's really fucking cool. That's a sick concept, and I can't believe we haven't seen anything like that since. That's sick. If I'm going to speculate as to what this is, I would imagine it's just a port going to Korea. I wouldn't think this is a full game. But it is weird that it's so much later. Because it says on the post that the emulated PS2 game has been on the PS4 since 2016, everywhere but Korea. So It makes sense. But if it is a new Siren, that's class. Because we're not seeing very many kind of like horror games too much that are like this, I suppose. So I'd love for it to come back, but unfortunately I think it is just a Korea thing.
Fair enough. What about yourself, Mr. Hoy?
Well, this IP in this game originally passed me by, but from what I know and from my research, it's basically a Japanese Silent Hill, but with kind of like a unique kind of take on, as you're saying, the sight jacking, if I'm pronouncing that one correct. But this was regarded as one of the original stealth video games. You know, it was kind of carving a new area of survival horror out for itself, and I think it did very well. It was well regarded at the time it came out, and it originally scored 72% over on the Metacritic, so, you know, above average scores for a survival horror. So in our book, that's very fucking good, because generally they don't score so great, especially the older ones, because they can be a bit jank. But a game that isn't Silent Hill and isn't the game that cannot be mentioned, with a relatively high score from the past, this one definitely, you know, gives me the goosebumps. I'm definitely interested in this one. But is it a remake? Is it a new game? Who knows? I'm hoping for a new game. And as Spencer said, you know, PlayStation really lack that era of video gaming. So if they're going to be bringing back a known IP, a much loved IP now into the family and bringing it up, bang up to date on the new PlayStation 5, hell, PlayStation 5 Pro, now that would really spark my interest if they were going to bring it back to that level. But who knows at the moment? Nothing's been confirmed, but ultimately I would just like to see this on a big scale and it done right. I'm hoping for a new game.
Do you know, I like your thinking, and I am... If I had my way, and it was my choice, I would like to see this game get the remake treatment. And for it to get the remade the same way like Silent Hill 2 has just been now, or say the games that can't be mentioned, and for them to really take what was there in the original and just flesh it out that little bit more.
Is it really that big for a remake? We're in the season of just remake after remake after remake. So I kind of feel like that's the obvious answer, isn't it? Another remake. But generally the games that we're seeing being remade, you know, Metal Gear Solid, you know, Horizon, they're big IPs with a following. Now, I don't feel from my research that Siren has that much of a following to warrant a remake. I think like a reimagining or bringing it back as a new game makes more sense, but obviously it's a bigger risk, isn't it? A remake is small risk because generally it's not so much investment in the development because you're already working off a base game. So I understand where you're going on that one, but I'm still hoping for the new game.
I think either one would be class. And I mean, the thing about it is that it's a Sony-owned IP. So It's something that immediately that adds that little bit of extra spice to the portfolio of games. You know, where you can have... We don't have a horror game, like a proper horror game. Like, you could say Until Dawn is, I guess, but it's not. You know, you don't have this kind of wheelhouse for us. And why not? You know, it's a series that has quite a few entries across PS2 and PS3. See it come back. My rational head, though, is just going to be showing up in a couple of months' time in PlayStation Premium.
Yeah.
And that's
that's
my
so
rational head.
Disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be. Well, I mean, to be fair, I've been enjoying these PS2 games that have been dropping in. You know, Time Crisis has been amazing, and then to get like Mr. Mosquito that I've been enjoying these last couple of weeks. Siren back in there. Fuck yeah, I'll check it out. You know, a trophy support. It's been a long time since I played it. I haven't played it since the PS2, and I never played the PS3 version. So I wouldn't mind going back and seeing what it's like. I remember being fucking solid, like really hard. But then as a kid, as much as I love Metal Gear, I wasn't the sneakiest. You know, I wasn't really that good at stealth in Metal Gear. I just quite like shooting stuff. So we'll see kind of how this goes. But that's where my brain's going. It's going to be in preview in a couple of months' time.
I will say one thing. I've just used Aria AI to translate that whole Korean page. So I got the entire thing in English now, or at least how AI has translated it. It seems to be accurate. And it sounds a bit different to what you depicted. It says it's been rated as adults only, and the reason, excessive violence, excessive depictions of red bloodstains when attacking zombies with weapons, excessive disgust and fear, and the constant appearance of suddenly appearing zombies and eerie sounds induce fear and disgust. So it seems... Did the original Siren have combat, and it was mostly a stealth game, or was it just...
Yeah, you could go into combat with them, but it was just not to be... You know, like when you're playing the game that Kami mentioned, and we're like, you're not supposed to kill everything, Spence, you're supposed to run, right?
Yeah.
This is the game where that fucking teaches you that lesson. Like, you cannot... Like, you can take on a couple, maybe, but it's going to be hard, and you're going to get wrecked from it. And the monsters, the normal people, if you can imagine, the person that always sticks in my head is like an older Japanese lady, and this PS2 graphics now, and she has like a white, like her hair in like a white, like thing over her head, and all it is just they got blood pouring from their eyes. Like, and that's what they are. And so then when you see through their vision, you're seeing it, and there's like a glaze on it, if I remember rightly, either red or black and white, one of the two, and that's what you're sight jacking through. So you're not really too sure, and all you can hear is like their breathing. So like, as you're like sight jacking through them, and then you're like seeing yourself in the corner, and you're thinking, "Fuck! Please don't see me! Please don't see me! Please don't see me! Please don't see me!" Because when you're sight jacked in, your person's like in like a trance thing, like kind of standing there.
Move.
Okay.
And so it's just fucking terrifying. And so you've got to just go into their viewpoint, listen to these disgusting noises, plot where they go, so you can then move around. But then the thing is, you then move up from point A to point B, and then there might be another guy coming around there that you had no idea about because you were sight jacked into the other one. So it's like that kind of horror. So it does kind of vibe with what that is saying to me a little bit.
I think you've made a fair point with saying it's probably a premium game, but for it to only be rated in Korea is weird.
Very, very, very weird. But these things do just pop up every now and again, don't they? In different places. But I like that we're all coming at this from a different angle. I suppose this is why it's a rumor, right? We'll wait and see what happens, and whatever the answer is from any of these three different examples we come up with, I'm pretty happy with it. You know, unless it's just a Korea-only release, which would fucking suck for me. But we'll hopefully it's not that. But hopefully it's one.
No
of the
one's
other.
got that on their bingo card, has they?
No, absolutely
not.
No. But from that one, then we got our second rumor. Okay, and this is a rumor that we've kind of heard before on the show, but a long time ago, and it was in very different contexts. So this is coming from Jason Schreier, who's stating that Guerrilla's next game is the Horizon Online game. Horizon 3 might be farther out than people think. Now, Phil, I'm going to throw it over to you first. How do you feel about this, if that is the case?
If that is the case, well, Davey, I'm not sure what to think about this one because it's driving me crazy. Like, I really like the Horizon IP, and I feel like at the moment they're really milking it, and they're going to milk it to death. We're going to be sick of Horizon, aren't we? We're getting the remake now on the 31st of October. Of course, it scored an 89% over Metacritic, so it did really well. So it deserves a remake, but do we really need it right at this moment? £10 upgrade, it looks gorgeous, so probably we do. We've got the Lego Horizon on the 14th of November. And now you're telling me we're going to get a live service Horizon, a Horizon Online. And the thing I'm waiting for, which is the continuation of the story in Horizon 3, I want to know what happens when, I don't want to spoil it, the end of Horizon 2. Really, really good sort of cliffhanger. I want to know what happens next within the story. That's the part of gaming that I vibe with. That's the part of gaming that I really enjoy and keeps me up at night. I'm thinking, where is Aloy going next with this story? But having a live service, Horizon Online, everything's going to be live service. Everything's going to be Horizon in the future. And then we're going to get into the live service and you're going to have a Lego Man. You're going to have bloody Homelander from The Boys, right? It's just going to turn into that again, isn't it? Now, do I want that? Definitely not. I want Horizon 3. I don't need any of this other bullshit. We're getting too much Horizon. We need to rein this back in.
Wow. I didn't expect this from you at all. I didn't think you'd be that strongly against this kind of thing. I was thinking it would be fun, you and me diving in there, try and take down, a giant dinosaur together, and we're thinking, how are we going to do it? And you'd be like, I've got the trick caster, and I'd be like, I got that spear throwing weapon from number 2 that was actually good. The only good fucking weapon from that game.
It's not going to be that, though. That's what we'd hope it would be. And then it would just be a hero shooter. And we'd be like, oh great.
Oh, no,
it's just a Horizon hero shooter.
That would be bad.
You know what? That kind of feels like the theme of PlayStation at the moment. They seem to want to put everything into live service and kind of milk us a little bit. And it's just an IP that I feel is really going to suffer from it. It'll put people off number 3. If it goes down that route. If it's what you say, then yeah, that would be beautiful. That would be amazing if we could double team some of the big monsters in Horizon. That would be amazing. That'd be incredible if we could both, take down big monsters, kind of very Monster Hunter-esque. But it's not going to be that, is it? It's just going to be a live service hero shooter with Horizon characters.
Oh, I tell you what, that would suck ass. Because my whole thought process was, this is Monster Hunter set in the Horizon world. And with just Horizon combat, where it's just an open world, and you've got to be able to upgrade that better bow or whatever it is, that disc throw weapon that was also quite cool in Horizon 2. That we need to be able to take down 15 of those alligators, and you're like, right, okay, let's go and find him. And you're like, I found the perfect spot. Meet me over here, and I'll be like, oh, ride over on my Velociraptor, and then we'll get over there, and then we'll go hunt. Get our resources, come back, some adventure and shenanigans happens on the way. And that's the kind of game, right? And that sounds like a really fun experience. And it would, even if they didn't upgrade the combat from 2, I think being in co-op would make that a really enjoyable experience to be able to go in and do that together. If it is some kind of other genre and it's not Horizon, this can get in the fucking bin. Because I'm totally with you on that. They've got a bit of gold here in Horizon's gameplay, generally speaking. They can really just make that really nice if that was just with other players or with a other player. And then, it could also be that if you want it, it's like The Division, where then you've got like a no man's land center in the middle where then PvP happens, where like you go in there and somebody's the other rival clan or whatever, that clan or that Sky clan or whatever, and then they're fighting the Nora, and you're like, oh, okay, this could be quite fun. Maybe you could do that kind of thing, maybe. But I would just like to be able to go off and quest with my friends, and that's what I would like to do. But yeah, it does suck if Horizon 3 is a long way out. I'll give you that one. It would be a shame to see it go. However, I would like Guerrilla to stop fucking around with this franchise and give me Killzone. I'm quite happy to put Horizon on ice for about 5 years, I reckon. I reckon I can go 5 years without Horizon.
I would agree with you. I would 100% agree with you on this. Rather than doing all these Horizon rip-offs that they're probably going to do okay. They're probably going to do gangbusters. But for me personally, it's not what I need. It's not what I want in my life. Having a break now and moving over to another IP and going down that route of Killzone, perfect. Take your mind off Horizon. And then when they come back with Horizon 3, you're like, oh, I've got to get into that story. I remember how good. You remember all the positive things. Because at the moment, we're just concentrating on those very small negatives that were in Horizon 2. Give it time to fade away. And then we'll be like, we need to know what happens to Aloy at the end of number 2.
You need that moment that like God of War does really well, where they come out, then they're gone. Nothing else. And then years down the line, Kratos appears and it's like, fuck, let's go. Whereas at the moment, I feel like Aloy's not left me since 2018. You know? I feel like she's been there all the time, all the way through. And there's nothing overly wrong with that. But I do kind of vibe with you on this. I feel like maybe I am getting a bit of IP fatigue. And maybe they should pump the brakes a bit on Horizon and make me, absence makes the heart grow fonder, doesn't it? And I like Aloy. Maybe I don't need to see her all the time.
Tease me. That's what I want. Tease me about Horizon. I don't want it all on a plate in different formats. Don't need that in my life. Just once in a while, spice it up. But ultimately give me what I want.
Completely agree with you, my friend. I'm on exactly the same wavelength as you. Spence, you're not a big Horizon fan, but how do you feel about the idea of a multiplayer-centric Horizon game? And do you feel that's the right course rather than focusing on Horizon 3?
Well, I think, didn't we find out about this in the NVIDIA leaks, wasn't it? We found out about this or somewhere else? We've known about this for a very long time.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I see it as a Monster Hunter type multiplayer experience, same as you, Davey. I think that is what it would be. It's the only thing it makes sense for it to be. If they make it into anything else, it will flop. Or at least it should flop. People might buy it regardless, but the people that do are just fucking fools. Unless somehow it turns out to be good. I'd imagine if Guerrilla are actually making it themselves, it will be true to Horizon. Which is great. That's fine. Am I going to play it? Probably not. Not unless it comes to PS Plus or you boys are on there and you're like, oh, Spence is really good, mind. Maybe. But yeah, I'm not fussed with Horizon. It's not that I don't like it. It's just not for me. It gives me too many choices. It's one of those. Tell me what to do. That's literally the only thing. It's just too big for me at the minute. There's too many games to play and these are a bit too long. But I'm not completely against them. I like them. In regards to it delaying 3, good. Because even if this does happen and 3 comes out a long way after, that's basically what you want. Just ignore this. Sure, it's happening and it will be in your face whenever you watch a state of play or a showcase. Just be like, oh, Horizon, yeah, whatever. And just don't buy it if you want to get rid of Horizon for a while. It's not too detrimental that this is being made. But I think single-player games typically should stick to single-player with a few kind of, outliers. There are some games that do it really well, but I don't think this would be one.
Well, we've ignored live service games in the past, just like Exoprimal. So if Horizon Exoprimal comes out, it could be the same situation. Me and Davey will jump in for 5 minutes, tell you it's amazing, and then you can call us bullshit. Because I don't want it going down that route. You're right, I just want the third iteration. But I'm thinking, right, Guerrilla, what do they do best? Graphics and story. What there really works for live service? I don't know. I feel like it's a big mistake. I'm boo-hooing it before I know anything about it. So fool me if this comes out and it's bloody awesome and we're all invested for years. But from what I know about it, which is very little, I'm definitely not sold.
The thing is with that is that recently that's what they do best. Prior to Horizon, what they did best was multiplayer. So this might just be them mixing the two or trying to get the multiplayer legs before bringing back, bit of Killzone. But they definitely won't. Killzone's dead, man. They killed Killzone. They put it in the zone. It's gone. It's gone. Man. But I wouldn't think they would make a bad multiplayer. They've had a lot of experience with multiplayer games. I think they would do fine.
It's a really good point. As you quite rightly said, the Killzone games had decent stories, but it wasn't for that. It was the graphical fidelity and the multiplayer kicked ass. And I loved it. I loved the feel. It wasn't for everyone, but it was what it was. I suppose the big thing, guys, is do we believe this to be true? Jason Schreier is pretty good. He's a good source, but no one's fucking perfect. And there's been plenty of times where he's come out with stuff that's been absolute nonsense. So, what are we thinking? Are we saying that this is truth or this is false? Spence, over to you.
Yeah, 100% true. I think it has to be after the leaks ages ago. Yeah, 100% true.
And yourself, Mr. Hoy?
I think it's going to be the same across the board here. I'm sensing a very similar answer from yourself, Davey, because it falls in line with everything we've heard. It might just be a very well-educated guess. And of course, Jason Schreier, he's much closer to the gaming landscape than we are. But from what we know, this feels right. And I never get what I want. So of course, Horizon 3 is years out. Probably won't even happen. We won't know what happened to Aloy. Death Stranding's going to get delayed as well. 2026, I've heard.
Oh, mate, he's getting fucking depressed now. You'll be waiting. You know, we bought our PlayStation Pros, and we'll be thinking, oh,
waste of money, mate. Nothing to play.
That'd be the fucking dream, mine, to have nothing to play. That'd be fucking nice for once. But no, I completely agree with you, boys. I think this is totally true. 100% it is. And for me, I'm actually optimistic on this multiplayer game. I think this might actually be fucking good, if it's what I think it is. If it's anything other than what I think it is, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm very much a case of, I've got my view on what it should be, and if it's not that view, I'm going to kick off about it. And I'm sure that I may be proven wrong, right? Like Phil was saying, but all the tea leaves are pointing that this is true, isn't it? So, there it is. But audience, I would love to know your thoughts on these two rumors that we covered today. What do you think of them? Do you think they're genuine? Do you think they're truth? Or do you think it's a bit of fiction? Let us know right into the email pswetrust@gmail.com, or hit us up on X in pswetrust. Or you can also come along to the Discord. Say hello. I did pop in there for the first time in ages the other day. I'd even got a welcome, SSJ Davey, yeah. It's because it's my first time signing in Discord onto my phone. And then I quickly realized why I don't use it, because it saps all my battery, it's just notifications all the time. So I just turned off the notifications and silenced the app. So I'll be back on it at some point, but for those that were there for that fleeting moment that I was there, I said hello, put a wave in and left. You're welcome. You're welcome. But that has been it for episode 100. It's just been a normal run of the show today, nothing overly special. For those that are wondering, because a few people have asked, I am preparing something special for when we do our sit down all together for episode 100X, whatever it's going to be. I am planning on something. But if you've got any ideas for things you'd want to see in the special episode, just let me know. Just hit me up on Twitter at SJDavey or hit up the show. And I'll do my very best to accommodate any of the requests that you guys want. You know, whether you want that to be a collection album that goes out on Spotify of different jingles in long form, or if you want to have whatever it is, just let us know.
Can I request them to you?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
If I want to request things for part of your quiz to make it slightly easier for myself, could I start to suggest things through one of my burner accounts?
You definitely can. You definitely can.
It'll make you feel popular.
It would. It would. And for those burner accounts, what you can do in return for me, Phil, and this applies to yourself and the audience as well, leave a rating on the show. We are driving up our ratings, and it is going up there. We're still maintaining that whopping 5 stars. So thank you ever so much. We do really appreciate it. If you listen on Spotify, then all you have to do is go onto your mobile app, and then you'll see the little rating symbol. You just click it. And then you just click that 5-star, and then that's it. Done. You're off the naughty list. Any other platform, I don't have a fucking clue what you do because you're all weird not listening on Spotify. I don't really get it, right? So if you're on Apple and you're still buying Apple devices in 2024, you got more money than sense, go on iTunes. I don't know what you do on there. Just probably click 5 buttons and then I don't know, show it your arsehole or something for the security. I don't even know what they fucking do on iPhones these days. But what you get the fucking idea. Put a rating on, you little fucking pleb. Just do it, alright? I was nice for a lot of fucking run. We're in the next fucking 10 episodes now. I'm back to being nasty because it gets results. Fucking put it on there. Otherwise I'll know. I'll look at the analytics. I know the countries we're listening in. There's only 2% of you in Argentina. How hard is it to find you? Probably not very far. Probably not that hard. And I'm not that far away in the grand scheme of geography next week. I'm in the same continent as you. So I will be there, all right? Put a fucking rating on. And that's it. Episode 100, guys. Woo! In the bag.
Whoop, whoop.
Let's go.
Thank you ever so much for listening, everyone. I've been Davey.
I've been Phil.
And I've been Spencer.
Take care, guys.
Peace.
In PS We Trust is hosted by Davey, Phil, and Spencer. You can write into the show via our email, pswetrust@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @InPSWeTrust. To find each of us online, follow our Twitters, @SSJDavey, @PhilipHoy, @SpenPie_. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. See ya.